Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Ajmi out of Atlanta, Georgia, but I got my brother from another mother, but we got the same father here with us. This is LJ. This is the man that's out there fighting in them streets, making it happen, waking them up, shaking them up. Leonard Jones, good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Waking them up and shaking them up. Sometimes in
I,
order to wake them up, you gotta shake them up.
I, I don't
Come
know.
on now.
I had the slightest idea what you're talking about.
Hey, Leonard, come on, man. You know what you're doing out there in them streets, man. Look here. Hey,
Had the
you doing some
slightest
great work.
idea.
Huh?
Had the slightest idea.
Look here. I'm gonna say two words to you. New Order. That's all I'm gonna say. No, tell me what New Orleans got going on, man.
Well, basically, we just really excited about giving back to the community,
Mm-hmm.
serving those people that need help, and trying to be there to provide support for those who are in need, regardless of what it may be. If there's something that New Order can do for someone,
Mm-hmm.
and we fit into that program, we try to do what we can to help you. It's not some uh, huge, complicated issue either. Do you need help? If we
Yeah.
can help, we try.
Mm-hmm. And you said something. You said surprise, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it too. Cause you surprise some of the folks, man, because they don't. Sometimes they don't see you coming.
Well, I mean, it's
Come
not
on.
if we're doing something that popular.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes we get involved when righteousness doesn't
Mm-hmm.
appear to be happening. When people get taken advantage of, they need some help sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
so New Order relies on very talented people that have a heart and a passion,
Yes.
providing support. We
Mm-hmm.
one of our sayings is it's not I but we. Because
Yes.
nothing that we do
Mm-hmm.
in a vacuum, nothing just automatically happens,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. We really have dedicated people who are willing to sacrifice their time, their talents, and their treasure to help other people.
And see, and one of the things about that, people that care and want to do what's right.
Yeah.
That want that see, that's the part that people don't understand. People that care
Hmm.
and people that want to do what's right.
That's it.
And they don't have nothing. And see, a lot of times people say, well, they want them active group. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, polka dot green, or yellow, or whatever you are, whatever you are.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And that's the part people miss. Because they get so caught up in they see this organization, they say, oh, that's a black organization, just doing with black people. No, 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 no. That's where you're off. That's where you're missing it. That's where
Exactly.
you're missing it. So
Because
go ahead and let's speak on
we,
that for a second because people don't
we help
understand that.
we help people regardless.
Yep.
Our focus is righteousness
Mm-hmm.
and justice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. So if you're on the side of righteousness and justice and need some help, we usually can find a way to help and assist you. If
Mm-hmm.
not, we try to connect you with other resources in the community that may be able to help you. Like I say, it's not just this or that. Do we have some staple programs such as the Giving Back to the Community on Fifth Saturdays at Rodney Cook Senior Park down there in Atlanta? Once again, partnering with another great member of ours who has an organization called Soup or Something that
Mm-hmm.
really is a pop-up shop in the community for people. They can come and get hot meals, they can come and get fresh produce. We have
Mm-hmm.
folks that donate clothing, we have folks that volunteer their time to give free haircuts in the community,
Mm-hmm.
education on financial services in the community, all different types of things. It's
Mm-hmm.
just supporting people and meeting their needs where they're at.
I heard a friend of mine about a month ago. Well, it may not have been a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, said this right here, man. And certain things people say to me stick with me, man. You know, kind of stick like super gorilla glue, not just super glue, but super gorilla glue. But he said, I could take a person anywhere in the world I want to take them to. He said I could take them anywhere I want to take them. He said, but before I do that, I have to pick them up from their house. I have to pick them up where they are. And that's one of the things that people got to understand, man. You know, when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with individuals, you got to be able to pick them up where they are. And not all the time, Leonard, they're gonna be in a place that you want to go to.
Mhm.
They're not all, and I'm sure you know exactly what I mean when I say that, man. You know, sometimes you got to pick a person up from where they are, and not necessarily physically where they are, but mentally, spiritually, and emotionally where they are. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I always address whether or not a person needs help. That's why you can call us if you need help.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that we do that, seem pretty obvious. You may hear about them, egregious things that occur in the community, and we reach out. But the majority of times, it's people contacting us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking about specific issues they may have wherever they are at. This is
Mm-hmm.
not some random thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's people who need help
Mm-hmm.
calling for assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Not us sitting somewhere trying to figure out what would be best for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
not how we work.
So you're not sitting there with you like Tucson used to say all the time. You're not sitting there with your hands behind your head on a recliner, thinking about, what can we do today?
Right, right,
Ah, yeah. It's none of
right,
that.
right. Like one, we don't butt into your business,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
good.
about people who need it, and that's the best way to help someone is first assess their situation.
Mm-hmm.
Let them tell you what they need,
Yeah.
if they need anything at all.
Mm.
So one, you can make that determination whether or not, okay, do we move on? Do we get involved? Or do we pass this along to someone else that may be in a better position to help?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing selfish about it at all. It's trying to get as many people involved in helping as possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then Leonard, watch this. Watch this. How important is it when somebody come to you and need help? How important is it for you to turn on your listening ears?
Well, that's what the first step is. You call and tell us your story and we listen.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see what it is that we can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it all starts with vetting a call that may come in, a request for assistance. We
Mm-hmm.
don't move off of emotion.
Yeah.
Dedicated staff people that sit there and go through the issues, so we know exactly what it is we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. That's
That
good.
alleviate a lot of issues and problems in organizations where people get in the, for lack of a better word, a phrase, pissing contest.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have those issues
Mm-hmm. That's
because
good.
it's more than enough. It's more than enough to go around. All you
Mm-hmm.
got to do is help somebody. Start helping folks. You'll be surprised at who will start calling you, who will start trying to get in touch with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Great when you're doing a thing and another group's doing the thing, and y'all get together and start making that outreach even broader to people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Now, with that being said, Leonard, what's going on in the political arena? Right? How did Biden do last night?
Well, you have some people that really criticize um, his stumbling sometimes or things of that nature, but who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really now, I think, a propaganda campaign to try to smear his ability. And
Mm-hmm.
if you notice, one thing you cannot do is you cannot debate the truth and what has actually been done and what is actually being accomplished in this man's administration.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unrefutable progress. So what else you talk about? Anything else you can find?
Exactly.
Anything else you can find? You know what? I think his suits be too tight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't like the way he wears hair. You're not talking about the actual job and what is actually being done and accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
You nitpick
Hmm. Exactly.
because you don't have a great enough reason or rationale other than the one that you have chosen. No one still can say they have more experience
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or are better qualified or have a better plan than the Biden administration.
I think, and to a big part of it, I think what they're doing is diverting. They're trying to divert from the fact that their candidate is so flawed in so many ways. They try to find anything to go against Biden. Anything that they can find to well, look, he did this, man, look at he scratched his forehead on the left side, man, in the middle of what he was saying. Y'all see that?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what it's like. Have you ever you from the hood or
Yeah.
I'm pretty now you got social media or whatever. You
Mhm.
can just tune in to a fight these days.
Yeah.
You know, I'm for our community, a bunch of black girls sitting around just arguing and just fussing and fighting. Everybody got on bonnets and house
Hmm.
shoes and they just fighting like cats and dogs. And
Hmm.
if you listen to what they fighting about, don't none of it make no sense at all.
None. None.
Yeah,
None.
just listen. Okay, why y'all fighting again?
Hmm.
What? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't want to misjudge you, but now that I know exactly, yeah, you stupid.
Hmm.
Now I know you stupid because I
Hmm.
hear what's coming out of your mouth. You
Exactly.
can't even explain why you doing what you doing.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can't even explain it. So
Hmm.
if you can't explain it, why should I even waste time listening to it?
And
Say something of value so
hmm
people can value what you have to say.
and the silly thing about it, you over here fighting. I ask you what you're fighting for. You don't know. You can't explain to me what you're fighting for, but yet and still you want me to fight with you.
Right. Come on now. Hey, I came over here to fight. Let's fight.
Exactly.
Come on now. That's ignorance in action.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot like that where you have issues, and it's just if you want to feel bad about something, feel bad about who's the leader of the House
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
of Representatives right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whom we think look at that man sometimes from the point of view compared to all other speakers of the House.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find that there's something very peculiar about him.
Yep.
Just looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll say to yourself, I don't know what it is. Yes, you do.
It's something about him,
Don't
man. You're right. It's
even
just something.
look
Yeah.
like he can be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
The things and stuff. Look at what they're doing now. They're all head on to proposing this issue and passing this bill to stop non-citizens from voting.
Mm-hmm.
Since when have we had a problem with non-citizens or people with no ID voting?
I
When
can't. I every time I go, and I've been living here all my life. Every time I go, they ask me for my ID.
we have entire institutions and organizations who have researched this data on this supposed election fraud. Where have you heard election fraud from before? Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden you got people that you don't put little people in place in positions of power, and now they want y'all to believe that illegal citizens have been just rushing to the polls to
Mm-hmm.
vote. Really? people
That
who
makes
who
sense.
people who illegal
Yeah.
will go to a polling place where ID is being checked.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And say, and look, and just shine that spotlight on themselves. Look at here. I'm illegal. I ain't supposed to be here. I don't have any
Yeah, yeah.
documentation. I don't have anything, but I'm here to vote.
I know I look just like the guy. I know I look just like the guy on all of the billboards and the posts that just committed this mass murder.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna show up to the polls to vote.
But I have a duty. I have a duty.
These people have completely lost their freaking minds,
Mm-hmm.
Raheem. And you cannot afford to sit by and watch them destroy everything
Mm-hmm.
as if it's just a TV program.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yep.
is real life. And when real life come down your street and start knocking on your door in the form of police
Mm-hmm.
and accusations and allegations, manhunts for no reason just because, you'll understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's you that allows government to be turned loose on people when you don't show up and vote for people with your best interest. There are
Mhm.
people who really want to quarantine other people because they're black and brown.
Yep.
In 2024,
Mm-hmm.
we just want to pull over black and brown people
Mm-hmm.
just to check and see if they're supposed to be here.
Exactly.
And they ain't pulling over no white folks
Mm-hmm.
with white skin. No,
Why you
no.
why you pull me over? Look, I done seen
You
10
was
cars.
brown. That's why I pulled you over, because you was brown.
Exactly. I done seen 10 cars drive by here.
Yeah,
You ain't stopping down one of them.
yeah.
Here I come with my happy little self. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. I'm jolly. I'm jolly. And you pull me over for what?
If you watch the bills and the things, it's almost paving the way back towards racial profiling.
Yep.
They're coming up with another way to try to hinder the vote. The people who are, and then when you do find fraud, the very small percent that you do find,
Mm-hmm.
it's usually them.
Yep. 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 Exactly.
Come
Exactly.
on, man. Make
Mm.
it make sense. And
Hey,
so what you don't understand today, make a goal to try to do some research and find out and some fact finding, so you know a little bit more tomorrow. You
mm,
ain't got to be an expert. You ain't got to be an expert in this thing, really. You don't.
yeah. Mm.
Just have to stay up to
Just
date with what's going on that might affect you and your community.
Leonard, sometimes you just got to have just a tad bit, just a tad bit of that thing they call common sense.
Yeah,
And
that's it. I mean,
just
it's
a
not
tad.
like the government in ideology is not a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people with agendas that don't benefit others that
Mm-hmm.
make it so terrible. Also, you have just people who are into wickedness and they need more power to accomplish what it is they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or one, if you notice, people that raise the most hell usually don't travel and don't hang. They stay right where they got the power at.
Mm-hmm.
So, because
Mm-hmm.
that's where they cut up at, see, because they know the judge and they know the police and they know everybody else. So they stay in their little communities and try to make hell for everybody around them.
They know they could get a pass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to exercise your right,
Mm-hmm.
your rights to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
You have to exercise your right to bring your concerns and your grievances before the law
Mm-hmm.
and then get fair justice.
Leonard, will the fight ever end?
No, no, no. That's the thing. That's one of the biggest problems in the world. People think there's always going to be a fight. As long as there's good and there's evil, there will always be a fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how some people view that. I know some people believe that I don't know if they're gonna wait for everything to be just roses or think I don't know when it comes to that. That's for each and every other person's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll most likely be fighting till I die.
Yep. Yep. Constantly.
Yeah,
Constantly.
yeah, because I've never been the type that just sit back and let you do anything to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very picky about you doing things to innocent people.
We had this saying back home. I done said it on here many times before. We had this saying back home, back in Greensboro growing up. And it was a popular saying on the street. Man, let me tell you something. People be arguing. He said, okay, you want to argue, that's fine. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you hit me and if you can't fight, boy, you're gonna be in a world of trouble because I'm gonna beat the brakes off of you. Hit
Like I
me,
said,
hit me and can't fight. Because if you hit me, you gotta prove you can fight. Once you hit me, you gotta prove now.
it don't matter. It don't matter to me. I'll whip you because it's Tuesday.
Good Lord.
Hey,
Let him.
don't
What you slapping
do
that boy
not.
for? Man, it's Tuesday,
Let's
man.
have a. I like to have a great time, man. I
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
have a good time. I like to help where I can and do what's best.
Mm-hmm.
Any other stuff I try not to fool with. I don't like to fool with people that keep up a lot of mess or
Leonard,
just downright ignorant.
Leonard, you sound like Richard. That thing that Richard said in one of his skits, man. Richard was a funny dude, man. Richard said, man, look, why did you kill everybody in the house? The man looked at Richard and said, he used them words, they was home.
Hey, I'm just man. You have to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
All these folks that think you can do something to somebody else and with no retribution. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that bad karma you putting out, you think that's not supposed to come back to you?
Mm-hmm. And
That's
it
what
will.
you deserve.
Yep. 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 And it definitely will. I remember, Leonard, I wrote it down. Sometimes, when you get to be a certain flavor of seasoning, you have to write stuff down. You have to write stuff down sometimes. But
Right.
I wrote it down what we're going to talk about today. And this we're not going to stay on this long. When other people come in, we'll bring them into it a little bit. But we got a couple other things I want to talk about as well today. But public school, we talked about the ASVAB. Public schools are being required by that Prop 25, 2024, whatever it is, 2025, whatever it is, Project 2025. I think that's what it's called. A part of it is saying that public school students are going to be required. Public school students are going to be required to take the ASVAB when private school students are not going to have to do that. First, Leonard, let's talk about that obvious part, the elephant in the room. Who are they targeting?
Well, in and of itself, first of all, I think we explained what the ASVAB was.
Yes.
The ASVAB is the diagnostic test you take when you are thinking about joining the military.
Yes.
To identify where your skills are and to match you with those jobs that you qualify for.
Mm-hmm.
And most people take it usually in high school, usually graduating seniors or what have you will have taken this test, specifically if they have expressed an interest in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I'm not big on forcing people to do anything.
Yes.
Like I said before, you don't force people to join the military. You shouldn't force them to take the ASVAB.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have an agenda.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And there you go. There you go.
I'm all for diagnostics, like SATs, ACTs, and everything. I lump it all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And bad fact, if people want to know what it means, that's the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that testing is for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against it, but making it mandatory for people with no intentions of joining the military, no, there's something sinister behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need to keep doing it as we have been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It is necessary for those, and everyone who joins the military takes this test. That's fine the way it is.
Mm-hmm. If they have an intent to go into the military, let them take the test. If they have an intent. Mm-hmm.
Or if you just want to take the test just to see where you score, fine.
Yeah.
But I ain't forcing nobody to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore I would be against legislating mandatory requirement.
Mm-hmm. But Leonard, and what is said, and it's written this way, that public school students are going to be required, while private school students are not. What sense does that make?
It makes a lot of sense. It's like you old enough to well, somebody will call in here who remember the draft.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
College kids didn't go. They didn't want to go if they was in school, or their parents didn't want them to go.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly they were wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
They could afford private school.
Yeah.
But most of your politicians
Mm-hmm.
send their kids to private schools.
Yep.
Rich people send their kids to private schools.
Mm-hmm.
So their kids don't have to worry about stuff like mandatory public anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they send them to private schools. So this is why you have to take a stand against these types of agendas.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what's the agenda? Ask
Mm-hmm.
them what's the agenda. If there's anything that compels any American to do something against their will, I am really not a supporter of that type of legislation.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be for uh, um, excellent reason for me.
Yeah.
It can't be mediocre, and it can't be something that I'm imposing on other people. That's a test.
And do you think that's what they're doing at this point?
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. That's
Wow.
exactly what it's for, to impose upon your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am completely pro-military, pro-choice. If you want, I think it is the best thing for some people to do who don't have direction and don't have discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend it for anyone that needed that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to contribute. It's not that not right now, not as big a deal as it was during Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of us who went to military. We never saw combat.
Yeah. Yeah.
We never saw combat at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's combat soldiers who actually get into those situations and are forced into those situations because
Mm-hmm.
of the jobs that they've chosen. They usually go first. For instance, if you score very low on the ASVAB, you usually will get a field artillery forward position.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be a grunt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Gonna
so
be
you have to, if it's in your plan to take advantage of a great opportunity, the military is still that.
mm-hmm.
It always will be. One of the first fighters in this civil rights movement was soldiers
Yeah. Yeah.
that started pretty much the civil rights thing. They're the one that put their lives up to support the cause that, yeah, we need to be treated just like everybody else because we volunteer to die just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We should be treated the same. And during all of that, those men of valor who dedicated their lives, even after these issues, still came back to a hateful and racist America.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was about to talk about, man. A lot of times you send these people over there to fight for this great American country. You send them over there to fight. Patriot, you're so patriotic. Look at you. We love you. You're going over there, you're fighting for the country. You're fighting for our rights. But yet and still they come back home. And as soon as their boots hit the ground, they have no rights at all. Leonard, what sense that make?
Well, in terms of vision, because one, there is an African saying about wisdom and people who really care plant trees whom shade and fruit they will never enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's love.
Mm-hmm.
That's dedication.
Yes, sir.
To be willing to make that sacrifice to contribute towards a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like our ancestors who did all that they have done to get us to where we are today. Don't
Mm-hmm.
act as if it would have just happened without that fight,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't have. There were people against it. There are people still against it.
Yes, Lord.
And if you don't believe that or what have you, that's your choice. But we have courts full of issues and cases of discrimination still to this day,
Mm-hmm.
where some people can kill somebody and not be held accountable,
Mm.
depending on who's in charge.
Yep.
So I would advise people to understand and get some knowledge. Just listen. Go find out. Like, one, you may have not known what the ASVAB was for today. At least I gave you some facts. Now you got to go find out the rest about the issue.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
See how what do you think about it? Some people, it ain't nothing but a test. Yeah. Well, what does the test do?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
why would you need that test?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some people who actually believe. Now, I'm gonna take my young hat off and I'm gonna go back to y'all's day.
Come on. Come on, y'all day.
They
Y'all
gon'
day.
they gonna make us go to war. You
Mm-hmm.
gonna make us do a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand what would compel you to believe that you have to do anything that somebody says. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that kind of person. So it had better be in my best interest. I don't have a problem with what's in my best interest. I don't have a problem with what's in the best interest of others either.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm able to get along with people, help people, support righteous causes and things of that nature, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about this foulness of forcing people to do things.
Mm-hmm.
That's foul to me.
Then a
In
lot.
general, that's foul. I don't know. Now that's a good question for people, because I think some people think that's okay. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm
Mm-hmm.
more than happy to listen to someone else's opinion about it.
Yeah.
Some of y'all come on here and y'all be talking. I'm like, well, who's making you do what? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. But
But
see, my thing is, we got to. I think it's a good thing, and some people think this way. I think it's a good thing that they're doing that ASVAB thing, because it's gonna make us all safe. It's gonna make sure that that we protected over here, and they're gonna get the boots on the ground and get the sailors, the soldiers out there to fight for this country, man. We need people fighting for this country. We need people to go out there that's gonna be able to fight. And we gotta have the numbers. We gotta have the right numbers, and it's gonna help our numbers with our soldiers and everything. So it's really not a bad thing. Some people think like that, and they're not seeing the whole picture, man.
right, they're warmongers.
I'm like, wow,
They are. But what about the peace of the matter?
yeah, yeah, mm-hmm,
Everybody wasn't into the war. Everybody's not into wars.
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm,
know. So I mean, it's a difference of opinion, but
yeah,
it's a national effort to protect our sovereignty as it relates to national security. We have an excellent military all
mm-hmm,
around the world.
yeah,
We
yeah,
are very good at this.
mm-hmm,
We have the best military in the world.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's an accomplishment. That's what
mm-hmm,
makes us so powerful.
mm-hmm.
Is our ability to defend and to militarily force our way.
Is that what also makes it so dangerous?
Yes, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Even the
Wow.
average individual is a dangerous individual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let us not either. I have met and we talk, and I draw the conclusions from different conversations, especially when you hear people who talk about being in situations, abusive situations, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why you stay there
Yeah.
and you free to move around freely. I don't
Mm.
understand. I don't understand how you can be constantly terrorized by somebody and you can go right and get you a pistol, and soon they come back, shoot them.
Well, we're not condoning the violent part of it, Leonard. We're not.
No, no, I practice nonviolence, but
Yeah.
do trust me and believe I would not hesitate to defend myself or my family at any time for any reason. It would not even be a question. You do not get to sit around and continually torment me without a response. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for some of you who live that way, that's your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Your
Wow.
business.
And I believe majority of the people feel that way. They're going to protect their own, man. They're going to
Right.
protect their own. That's just what it is. We got Donna Toussaint, and we got Frank Logan with us. So I'm gonna go in the order they came in. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Oh, man, it's Friday.
Yes, sir.
How you think I'm doing?
I think you.
That ain't got nothing to do with my work week, but hey, it is what it is.
There you go. You got a couple of days off to kick them feet up and rest them feet. Ain't it? Get to rest them feet.
Man, I'm gonna rest my feet. It ain't gonna get me to agreeing with the devil.
There you
Idol.
There you go. There you go. Toussaint, we're talking right now about the ASVAB, the test that people have to the public school system. Now, see, and this is what it is. This is my issue with it. If you're in public school, they're forcing you to take the ASVAB, the pre-military test to see what you qualify for. If you're in public school, therefore that is this project 24, project 25, whatever it is, they're making public school students take the ASVAB. But yet the private school students, they don't have to. They don't have to take it. It's not required of them at all. Toussaint, do you see something? There's something funky about that.
I think, well, I'm not too bright, and I don't pay no attention to all of that. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't stupid.
Yeah, come on.
There's a purpose, there's a reason why people do things. Because let me. I don't play, but I'm pretty sure you do. Maybe Leonard and
Frank.
Some others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Frank play chess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And somebody playing the chess game while we playing checkers. Making the right moves because there's a plan later on down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't play chess. I never did. I could never get with it.
Mm-hmm.
But even though I never played it, I kind of like understand something about the game, just a little.
Mm-hmm.
But people are moving there, making their necessary moves. Because see now, their kids are not in public schools.
Yeah.
Yours are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
And your children go to war. Theirs don't.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
So basically,
sit on that.
your children gonna be in danger.
Sure they are.
Mm-hmm.
They've been in danger.
Mm-hmm.
I got some right now. 2 of them.
Me too.
Let me say something else right here. Had you taken a look to peep to see what our military force looks like in training versus how it looks like 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
30 years ago, 40 years ago?
So much
I
different.
wish you would holler and scream at one of them soldiers. You're gonna find yourself in a bind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we got the strongest military force on the face of the earth, and they all offended
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't speak to them well.
Mm.
So if the war breaks out and the enemy comes, you think they're gonna be nice?
No.
Okay.
They
Let's
don't.
keep talking about our strong military, and let's see how that works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
It really don't, I don't know about y'all, but it just don't make no sense to weaken your force and still think they're strong.
Exactly. Patty cake.
Even with your modern technology.
Patty cake.
Technology has glitches,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then you're gonna have to fight. And when you're in combat, you can't press no buttons
Mm-hmm.
with the enemy. I'm just saying.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing, Toussaint. To your point, ain't no reset button. Ain't no reset button. You die, you're dead. Ain't no reset button coming back and play.
I'm on the ground. Will you hold up? I got to reset my position. Hold up. Take your foot off me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ain't gonna happen.
And then you go to crying. And then they go to crying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Frank, I didn't mean to say it like that, but yeah.
Lord.
No.
Frank, I said I'm gonna come to you next, brother, but ladies are always first. So I gotta go to Annie from Mississippi. Annie from Mississippi, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, great morning, God morning to everybody.
Good morning to you as well. And we're talking about this situation with the ASVAB, the test. The test you have to take pre-military. You have to take to find out what you qualify for, what kind of job you can get, what your performance is going to be in the military. They're saying this project 25 is saying that public school students are going to be required to take this ASVAB. They're gonna be required. Ain't no choice. They got to take it. But private school students, Nah, don't even worry about that. You don't have to take that. Andy, is there something funky about that?
We live in America, right? And we have been seeing this go on all our lives. There's been there's been a different set of rules for us since birth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not surprised, but there is something funky about it. But then again, when you look at America today, America is different than what it was 15, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there were guidelines, there were rules that we used to think that was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be, people had to be qualified to do some of the things that they're doing. But look at us today. I'm not surprised at nothing that happens today. I mean, and the sad part about it is no one can change it.
Yeah.
It seems like we're helpless. People do what they want to do because they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the perfect example of that right now in this election.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised that they have a different set of rules for the underprivileged per se.
Mm-hmm.
People who look like us and who have the money that some of us have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised at that.
Exactly.
That's America. That's good old America. That's the one that we stand for and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just what America have always been. So there is something funky about it. But here's the thing about it. What can we possibly do? Who do you tell?
Mm-hmm.
The people in leadership are crooked.
Yeah.
The highest power, the greatest power in the country has been given to a clown before.
Mm-hmm.
And allowing him to run it and try to get it again. This time, if he get in, this time it's going to be sure enough going to be a messed up 4 years.
It's going to be a train wreck.
That's to hope and pray he don't get in.
It'll be a train wreck.
The last time is a trial run.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, if he get in, it's going to be something different. You're going to see the real him. You're going to see the real America.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised at all about that.
Wow. Frank, don't get mad at me, brother, but there's another lady here, man. I got to go to the ladies first. Cassandra Alexander Green. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
We're talking about the ASVAB, and it's the ASVAB is the test that you take before your pre-military test, where they qualify you for what job you're gonna have or what your performance is gonna be. What they're saying in this Project 25, they're saying that the all public school students are going to be required to take this ASVAB. But yet, if you're in private school, you ain't got to worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead on and do your schooling. Cassandra, is there something funky about that?
Man, it speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks for itself. We know that who joins the military the most.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Black folk.
What groups of people join the military the most?
Black folk.
Black folk,
Mm-hmm.
poor folk, white folk, brown folk.
Mm-hmm.
Those rich white children rarely, now they'll go to the academies, and the military academies, because it's a legacy of their family, stuff like that. But I'm talking about who literally volunteers to go. Why do our people and poorer people and people of color go? Because they're trying to better their life. They're trying to better their family lives.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that white children can wiggle their way out of enlisting in the military, like you said?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are in private school, what does that say to you? Come on now, who goes to private school the most?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on, tell the truth. Come on.
I mean, this is not no brain science, or
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be a scholar, you don't have to have a high IQ to know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That entire 2025 is a playbook to oppress, suppress, depress
Mm-hmm.
people that they consider minor people in this country.
Wow. 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 Frank, what do you
So
hear?
we can
Oh, I'm
play
sorry.
around if we want to, but
Mm-hmm.
it speaks for itself. Ain't no,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Frank, what do you
Get
hear?
it, Frank. Get it, Frank.
What do you hear in this, Frank? What do you hear? This whole situation, man. Project 2025. You're in public school, go take that ASVAB. It's required. Ain't no there's no option there. No option. You're in public school, go over there, take that ASVAB. Private. Oh, you in private school? Oh man, you ain't gotta worry about. Go on, sit down. I'll say you okay. You okay, Frank? What does that say to you? Is it funky?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
So, good. So, on this very broadcast years ago, I had a conversation with you guys about how me and Rashid, we went to a school district that neither of our children were in, and we knocked on every door in that district because the teachers over the summer, when they weren't even working, they raised over $5 million for the schools in their district. Well, people heard about this money and they went after it. And they were having a town hall meeting to see if they could take over these schools and take that money. So we told everybody in that district how important it was to be at that meeting. And in my face and Rashid's face, they all said, man, I'll be there. We went to the meeting. Me and Rashid were the only two people there with our
Wow.
kids. They took that money and they closed the majority of the schools in that district. You get what you inspect, not what you expect.
Mhm.
I have an expectation of what people will do if you just allow them to do it. And once again, I know this sounds like a broken record. It goes back to respect. How active are you in the school and in the school district that your children go to?
Mhm.
I go to meetings all the time. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. There's things that come up. There's things that are being voted on that parents absolutely should be a part of, that parents are not aware of. You know, whether it's what your kids are eating for lunch, what is offered in the vending machines in the hallway, who is the people that are overseeing your kids' security, everything else, who they're bringing in, who they're allowing to leave. And at the end of the day, don't complain now. Don't complain now. I've been beating this drum
Mhm.
for years. Please get involved in politics. Please get into the community.
Yeah.
And then when things like this begin to happen,
Mhm.
and Toussaint mentioned chess, and a lot of people they would like to play the game. It looks interesting to them, and some people they move into the game, and they learn at a surface level, and they feel that the queen is the most powerful piece on that board.
Yes.
Man, I've seen so many people lose that game, and the other person, all they have is pawns.
Mhm.
They'll give you their queen to put you in the position that they want you to be in so they can win the game. Nobody knows about the Russian Open or different opens that you can study where you give away pieces. You win that game in 4 moves.
Mhm.
But this is not a game. This isn't a game. But the issue is that we keep pointing the finger and expecting things to change. And our ancestors, they gave us the rule book.
Mhm.
Your money. Where are you spending your money? We are still spending at a greater rate than anybody in the world. And we're not controlling it. You begin to hurt people in their pockets. You begin to shut your mouth and communicate amongst each other and strategize. We can't beat them in a war. Let's not beat our chests and make noises like that. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
They control too much. They control the military. They control all the utilities. They control the media. Don't be a fool. But you can control your spending, and
Mm-hmm.
you can control what happens with your kids.
Mm-hmm. So is there something funky about this whole situation where they're requiring one group to take it and not the other group? Is there something funky?
Right. We would, in order to say, "Oh man, what's going on? There's something wrong here." It's like we're surprised.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't new.
No.
There's nothing new about
No.
this.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing new. This is just something else that is going on. It has always been something there to make redlining. Why is a certain community's insurance higher than anywhere else? You know, and redlining is supposed to be illegal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yet we do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
We do nothing about it. And what we want to do is we want to say it's unfair. Life does not respond to fair. It responds to balance.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have balance in your life. What you're doing in your life, you can't just, party and watch television and kiki and ha-ha. And is there something wrong with this? I'm appalled. Come on, stop it, man.
Mm-hmm. Stop
that. Wake up and let's wake up and move like adults.
Mm-hmm. 508-924-3521. You're listening to DK Media Group and Associates, and this is the Morning Glow. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what we're talking about right now is this whole Project 2025. And they're saying in that public school students are going to be required to take the ASVAB. And you know what the ASVAB is, the pre-military test. But private school is not going to have to do that. Is something funky about that. Mo, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. It's doing better day by day.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about what we're talking about, brother?
Well, a whole bunch of things. The previous caller, I forgot his name, but Frank. Yeah, Frank. I've been playing chess since 3rd grade, and the Queen's Gambit defense, Sicilia defense, all of that, and the Fool's Mate is what you're talking about, winning in basically four moves, sacrificing your queen. I love when egotistical players put themselves in a situation where they're queen, where they think they're just going to get my queen and I'm going to collapse, and it was just a setup for them. Well, first now about Project 2025. Let's do a quick comparison just on the name thing, all right? Remember the 1619 project, okay? So we got now in our minds, we have a debate within our minds. 1619 Project 2025. You see the numbers and the way that, psychologically it's going to be a cultural white versus black thing, right? That's going forward. Second, with the ASVAB thing, one of the things that they want to do, how do you get out of that? What are options that you make? Just as Frank said about education, when my boys were at DM Farrell High School, I was there. The parents were there. One of the teachers was shocked when I came in as, my son Victor's father. And he said, "Oh, I'm kind of surprised because most of the boys here don't have a dad in their home." It was a white teacher who said this. So yes, getting involved there. How do you get out of that? Well, Kemp signed a bill this year, okay, which gives a voucher for $6,500 to take to any school, especially if your school is not providing the resources needed for like a special needs kid. So what can you do with that? Well, that bill also expanded that if you decide and go through the quick course online, you can get $6,500 and homeschool your child. Okay. But that means that's a commitment from the parent to do that too. Now, Cassandra made a comment about who's in the military. Why do people enlist in the military? Let's look at something very interesting. This is a fact. When I was at Morehouse College in the 80s, I went into the Navy ROTC and I won the Navy scholarship, but I decided to go Marine Corps option because I didn't want to take calculus and calculus-based physics. Now, to this day, little old Morehouse College, student body of 2,000, because it is now an independent unit, which was independent in '89, they account 18% of all Black colonels, full bird colonels in the U.S. Marine Corps come from Morehouse College. The head of the Mediterranean Fleet is a Morehouse man, was in a unit with me. Okay, why do people volunteer for opportunities like that? And you can always resign your commission. It's not like an enlisted person. A master sergeant.
But Mo, I think my question is a little different, brother. Mm-hmm. Is there something? Do you think there's something funky about what they're trying to do and how they land this thing out in regards to the public school having to take it and the private school not having to take it?
Of course there is, but that is why you have to understand. That's why I'm bringing up the point that you can take your kids out of the public school and take them to the private school. It's just like the school to prison pipeline. They want a school to military pipeline.
Is it that simple, just to take your kids out of the public school and put them in private school, where there's a certain fee attached to going to the private school that some people just can't, they can't afford it, man. Some people just can't afford it, put their kids in private school. There's a price point on that some families just can't do.
I totally understand that. And well, first I was saying that they're just like as there is a school to prison pipeline. Mm-hmm. They want to create now a school to prison pipeline and school to military pipeline. Mm-hmm. Okay. To get the cannon fodder, basically. So jumping to the private schools, I know of one particular enterprising person, I'm thinking DeKalb County, when my boys were coming up, and she got the school voucher. And because she had her degree, she had a day school for pre-K. And everybody in that pre-K, all the parents were able to get $7,000 in monies for the school year. And so she had 8 students in a nice big house, and she was able to combine that money, make her income. So the public schools are not the end all for everything. If we want better public schools, we have to be involved. No, it's not fair. But if you're not on the school board, if you're not paying attention to the school board, if you're not paying attention to, here in Georgia, the Department of Education and how they're failing like special needs students dramatically, they're out of compliance on everything, then there is an issue. So Project 2025, that thing, they want it to happen. They plan to try to make it happen. But that has to happen where? On the local level first. How do you make it stop? By going to the meetings, becoming involved. And it doesn't mean it's easy. You cannot be an armchair warrior. Remember, was it yesterday or the day before, you had asked as Christians, is it our duty to save the world? As Christians, and I had said, it's the world you're in right now. Here's a world of education, bad public schools. What can I do? As a Christian, get off your rear end and go to a meeting and vote. These are your property taxes, everything. We can stop everything going into Project 2025.
Wow. Let's keep this thing going, Brother Pete. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Curtis, coming to you next. Pete, what does this smell like to you? Public school students are required to take this ASVAB, while private school students are not. What does that smell like to you?
Agenda in motion. Sound to me like they really want to stop funding the public school. Mm-hmm. They're tired of spending money. People with corporations and stuff with money are tired of just giving away their money and throwing it down a hole. Years ago, you could have a non-for-profit or a great concept, and you want to save the little Negroes in the community that can't read and try to help them get a job. They give you $22 million for 90 days to create a program over the summer to allegedly help them get jobs when you know they can't read. So that's why they can't get a job. So you're going to end up indicted taking $22 million because you're not going to teach no more than 5 of them to read. And maybe one of them will follow all the way through and get a job. So you done ran off with $22 million. Now you in the penitentiary. Look, they're tired of doing that. So you have rights and you have privileges. If I give you privileges, I can take them away from you. If you operate in your rights, then that is your duty, but it comes with responsibility as well. It is there for you to operate in fully, but it comes with responsibility. So now when you're in the world, it's a privilege to be able to go to school and get educated for free. And a lot of places in the world, they got free education. It's not free.
Yeah.
Your education is taking care of the animals and tending to the ground and whatever else your family got going on for y'all to survive. That's your education. You can't afford to go to school. You don't even have shoes. Your clothes you're wearing are holy. You're not even prepared. You can't even wash up in the river. So you're not even included in no kind of way. So we're seeing the standard of the world in that context coming to America. You either got to get involved, like the last two gentlemen were saying, those guys were saying, or look here, you can operate in your rights. It's your right to go to school and your duty. It's your right to follow up about the school board and the county commission and the governor and the state legislator and any and everybody else that's relevant to functions in your day-to-day life and certainly your children. But if you're not involved, well, I got to work 2 jobs. Got it. So, this is why the family unit needs to be in place. Oh, well, me and my husband broke up. Me and my wife, we divorced. Okay, well, that's on y'all. You see how all of these things are out of place, but you have the ability to put things in place, but you refuse to be individually and collectively responsible in your own life, and then you looking around making excuses. Look, this hyena and lion game we in with this system, it's been here ever since we've been fighting with each other. Anytime you try to stand up and say, hey, we got a leader here, he's stronger, a sister here, she's ready to go, and she can lead the people, and she's dead, okay, or in jail. Next, what else you got? It's a cat and mouse game. When are you going to soberly minded, take your confidence, take courage, right? And do all that you can do, which is your right. Now, if that's not what you want to do and you want to take privileges, just realize if they give you something as a privilege, they can take it away from you whenever they're ready. Maybe it's time for us to start funding our own schools anyway. Maybe it's time for us to create our own situations. All these, did you just hear them last 2 brothers talk? Especially the last one.
Yeah.
This dude educated. He educated.
Yeah.
He educated. He's educated.
Come on.
Look how he ran down.
Yeah.
Who's here doing this? Who a Morehouse man, they doing this. Morehouse. Okay, well look, it ain't like we don't have what we need. We've always had what we need. But do we have the heart for the mission as a people, as an ethnic group? That's the question. Because I can go to school, power conceives nothing but a more powerful demand, right? Okay, the brother said, oh, we can't beat them in war. Listen, man. Do you have the heart for the mission? That's the question. Your enemy is never going to educate you to overcome him. So if you are fortunate enough to get a great intellectual stimulation so you can maximize your intellectual properties and your physical abilities, then you have a duty to use that to the benefit of you and yours first, whether it's overt or covert. We're at war.
Yeah.
Stop forgetting that we at war. Stop forgetting we taking live fire. Stop forgetting we in a hole. Doing in a dog fight. We 25 yards away from each other, shooting any and everything we can and throwing things at each other to kill each other.
Wow.
Get your heart right for the mission. Do that. Take courage. You a Christian? Good. Ask God for faith and put on the shield of faith, and the violent take it by force. Get you some fortitude to do what's right and best for you and yours. And ain't no sin in that. It ain't got to be hatred. It's self-preservation. You understand it, you do it every day. You a Muslim, you know what Allah and the Prophet Muhammad would tell you to do. Let's stop mentally and emotionally and spiritually masturbating.
Wow.
And let's get into the work and get our full fulfillment of the mission statement and purpose of why we are living beings, sentient souls, living in this form, in this day and time, right now.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. We love to have your input. And if you get an opportunity, wanted to let you know again that you can actually go to several places to watch the broadcast. I would prefer you to go to DKM Media Group, dkmmediagroup.com, and go to there, watch live and watch it right there. Or go to, if you're on Roku, Roku, look at your living room, man. Kick your feet up. Pick your phone up. Dial 508-924-3521. Again, pick your feet up, kick your feet up, pick your phone up, dial 508-924-3521. Watch what happens. Curtis, talk to me, brother. What do you smell in this the whole situation? Curtis, is it funky? What do you smell? Is it funky? I had to say it like that. What do you say, Curtis? Good morning. How you doing this morning? Curtis, wake up and go to sleep. Curtis, are you there?
Oh yeah, right here. I thought I hit the mute button. We've been looking at this for a minute. We let something go by years ago that I knew they was going to follow it up with something. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. I don't know if you guys remember. But do you guys remember when, I can't remember his name, little short white dude with glasses.
Charlie Brown.
He made all of those Republican operatives sign that pledge to not raise taxes. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was a big thing. It kind of went out. It went out with Trump because there was a refusal on his part to sign it, not because he didn't want to raise taxes, but because he felt like the guy had too much control, right? So he didn't sign it, but there was a ploy one time to not only not raise taxes, but to do away with the whole IRS, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same type of deal. The whole plan was written by him. This whole Project 2025. I hope that we all know that the three main people with the penmanship to 2025 were all people that served in the previous president's cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're supported by 6 other members of his former cabinet. Those who hung around to the end. All right, so they can try and make us believe. Well, they was trying to make us believe that he wasn't supporting this thing. Well, last night we all got our wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
Because he openly admitted it at a campaign function that he is in support of Project 2025, and it will be enacted. It has to be enacted. If you're going to be in support of it, it has to be enacted because it's a 180-day roadmap. So it tells the president what he must do in the first 180 days of his administration. It's a 180-day roadmap, right? And once enacted, X is the spot, right? I really, I hear the brothers when it's like, hey, show up. And I've shown up. But I've also, in a business mindset, I've also known that there was a meeting before the meeting. My high school was the largest high school in America all the way up until 1992. The freshman class came to the door at about 1,600 students.
Mm-hmm.
We literally watched them close the school down. It came to the meeting as if our opinions mattered. We had over 4 meetings. people showed up for every single meeting. But what I noticed while I was sitting there, and I'm not saying what I speculate, I'm saying what I saw with my own eyes. I noticed that certain people had taken money. And it came up in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people had taken money from these entities that wanted to buy that land in that school. Now, luckily, we got an HBCU here by the name of Morgan State. Luckily, that bear stepped in and told them, no. Guess what? Since y'all done bought it, we're going to buy it from y'all. You can't deny it. Give us a price because it belongs in the community. The school belongs to this community. Folks are showing up. The problem is, in today's world, you got so many people on the take. There's so many people in a greedy mind state that there's a meeting before the meeting where the folks that's in the greedy mind state getting paid.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Yeah.
They're getting paid to already cast the vote. So the vote has already been cast before the meeting even starts.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I feel, my brothers, that don't mean you don't show up. Show up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Protest anyway.
Good deal. Good deal.
This Project 25, listen, y'all, it's nothing but a way to rig the system. All of us on this line play football. Imagine if we showed up to a game and the rule was we could only play with 5 players, but we got to play against 11 on both sides of the ball. Who gonna win?
Wow.
Who gonna win?
Easy question. Easy
you
question.
Understand the 4
Wrap it up,
pillars
Curtis.
of Project 20. I'll land the plane right here. When you understand the 4 pillars of Project 25, I gotta give it to him, Raheem. It was brilliantly the dumbest thing that anybody could have wrote.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
You know, you have to look at the motives and the agendas, especially you were all talking about playing chess. And chess is not that complicated once you learn the basic rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing about it. It's the basics. Do you understand the basics of how one goes about the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness? Mm-hmm. The basic fundamentals on what you need. Everybody, and that's one of the building blocks of the Constitution, is this concept to pursue liberty and happiness, freedom this way by all Americans. And the playing field, so to speak, has not always been level.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're going to talk about equity.
Has it ever been level?
No. It's because one, those individuals that you allow into power, you giving them power to give advantage to others by representing their interests. Now, one, people will often complain about what's happening, but how often are they going to get involved? Some of the best parent-teacher associations are in those places where the parents are concerned about education of their children. And one, the agenda behind this whole notion of education as it relates to a Trump presidency is to eliminate the Board of Education, to take away any commitment that the federal government might have to education and give it back to the states. And fancy words like school choice and all this type of thing, don't just go with something because it sounds good.
Come on.
You have to go and look at the work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is it trying to accomplish? Dismantling the federal government, the Board of Education, from the federal point of view. Now, folks love to complain about school. But what they don't understand is that education is free, and free public education came about because it was an opportunity for those individuals who couldn't afford them fancy schools. To this day, I can't afford to go to Morehouse. I can't afford to go to many HBCUs because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
So as a poor kid, where do you go to school? Where's your hope in getting a better education? Especially if you come from parents who are not educated.
That don't know the value.
And plus, you're paying for it. Everyone that owns property is paying for public education. So your children should have a right to go to good schools for just basic public education, to teach you how to read, write, teach you about the history of this place, teach you about how general skills, basic skills in math and things and that, just wet your whistle, so to speak. Give you enough to get by and to understand with a general education. If you want, you can go on to higher levels of education and continue to educate yourself. But if you notice, the majority of those people who have made anything out of themselves, who have come from impoverished communities, have done so through what? Education. Education. As horrible as some of your kids make school. Because what we're not going to do is act like the administration doing all these people doing something to you, because it's not. Schools become bad. Why? Because of what's going on in the school.
Yeah.
It's the students. It's because you sent them there because they belong to you. So 50% of the responsibility is already yours because of what you sent up there to the public school. Now, it's the public school's responsibility to educate whatever child shows up.
Let me ask you a question along that line. I don't want to get too far off topic, but do you think the educational system here in the United States of America is failing our children?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. The only people that feel that way are those people who usually stick to legacy arguments, or those individuals whom simply have a bias towards education. Because if going to school is not that difficult. You're learning basic concepts, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Then they have extracurricular activities that you can choose, electives, and learn different languages. And all these things are great. I mean, I don't know who would be against that. Okay. Raise your hand if you're against that. Say something if you're against that.
Let me go. Let me go. I'm sorry. Finish your thought, Leonard.
So this is what public education is for. Now, for whatever reasons you're going, or you don't feel you getting it out of it, now you can choose what's in your kids somewhere else. If you can do a better job at home, there are avenues for you to do that. If you prefer a private education that you pay for, you can choose to do that. But why do something to hinder these children who can't? That's what you would do getting rid of public schools. You would get rid of that opportunity for the less fortunate kids who cannot afford to pay for education to get one.
Okay.
Because what we do understand now, and we know that, you can homeschool your child, but you still miss out on an element. I have a kid still in public school, and we see how integrating a virtual and physical approach. Now he's going back to school physically this coming year. I've already told him, if you cannot maintain a particular grade point average, guess what? You're going back on virtual. Where you perform better at. It's not me blaming the system. It's me using the system.
Okay.
Y'all get an education just fine. Guess what? They sending kids, they jumping fences and swimming to get it. So I don't know why your kids can't unless there's a problem with your kid.
Let me do this. Let me go to Cassandra, because she's an ex-educator for many years. Cassandra, as looking outside, looking in, and being inside of that structure, do you think the United States educational system is failing our children?
it's failing some children.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's failing some children.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there needs to be a you got to be careful how you say this, because people, put their own spin on it. But I feel like we need to reevaluate
Mm-hmm.
the system that is in place, how the monies are spread out. Because, okay, this is what's weird to me, okay? How is it that we have, and this has been for years, we have white people, their children are in the city of Atlanta, they're in DeKalb, DeKalb area, county,
Mm-hmm.
but you rarely see them at the high schools. You rarely see them you almost never see them at the elementary schools and middle schools. It's like, oh no, my child going to private school.
Mm-hmm.
So that has always been sort of strange to me. Now, just let me make this clear. I never worked with public schools.
Okay.
I worked with private school.
Mm-hmm.
And I love private school because we could better tailor the education to the child.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I had a curriculum, I had the flexibility to make what I taught custom to that particular child. The classes were not as large, so I was able to focus in to make sure that the child was getting what they needed on the level that they were supposed to be on and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved working for private school because it wasn't so controlled and it wasn't so, what's the word? There's a word where I could only teach it this way.
Wasn't so diluted.
He has a greater degree of freedom at a private school.
Huh?
It's called the degree of freedom. And that's what you have.
Yes, exactly. That's what I love about private school. And these were poor parents, guys. I'm talking, these were a lot of single mothers that were struggling, but their children that had problems learning in public school, a lot of them. So the owner of the school that founded the school, Miss Valeria Wade, she founded that school for those children that were being overlooked or that wasn't being able to get what they needed in public school.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for years. And let me tell you how good it was. And I'm going to be finished with this. Miss Wade ran into financial problems because a lot of the parents couldn't pay, but we never told them they couldn't come.
Mm-hmm.
We even if the parent had problems and could not pay, we still allowed so of course that put a stress on her trying to pay staff and stuff. We worked for 3 months. The teachers, I think maybe one teacher left. We worked for 3 months for free.
Mm-hmm.
While she got the finances reorganized so that she could pay teachers. Why did we do that? Because we cared about her vision for our children. When I say our children, Black children,
mm-hmm.
we cared about it so much that we were willing to sacrifice. Come on now,
Mm-hmm.
3 months without a paycheck?
Yeah.
Ain't many people gonna do that.
No.
But the teachers there stood by her and waded through that water with her because of the children.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's how much education means to me and meant to us.
Good deal. And I'm going to start out because we got quite a few people that's coming in. I got other people that's coming in. So I'm going to implement the 3-minute timer right now as we move forward. So everybody keep your comments within that 3-minute time frame. Let me go to let me go to Mo. Mo, what do you say to that, man? Is the education? Let me do this before I even do that. I want to say welcome to everybody. We got other people that's actually just coming in, and thank you for joining us. This is the Morning Glow. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you too could be a part of the conversation. Give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Call us. We're here every day. Mo, is the educational system as it is right now, the public education system, is it failing our children? What do you say to that, Mo? Mo, are you there? Curtis, talk to me, brother.
Did you say me or Mo?
I said Mo. He didn't answer, so I came to you. Talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Is it failing our system? Is it failing our children?
You know, I think, you know, this is just me talking right here, and I don't mean any disrespect. But I think we're getting away from the point. And I would hate to get lost in just talking about the education system when we're talking about something larger. You know, the education system is a part of Project 2025. That's just a part of it. You got the climate change initiative that they're trying to completely do away with. They're trying to completely do away with all of the infrastructures of American society. Come on, take your medicine, sweetheart.
It is, but let's concentrate on, you know, we're going somewhere. Let's talk about the education system. Is this system that we have, is it failing our students?
The education system is. Oh, I need you to take your medicine. The education system is failing the students because it's telling a lie. On all aspects, it's lying to us, man.
Why you say that?
All aspects is lying to us, and it's pigeonholing these teachers to stop these teachers from doing what they want to do. It's just like Project 25 is basically telling teachers in so many words what they can and what they can't teach. There's no empirical data that shows that private schools are more effective than public schools. There's none. There's none. Private schools tend to fail at a higher rate than public schools. Cool, I need you to take your medicine, sweetheart. And that's just a guarantee. That's just what the data shows, bro. You understand? But like, bro, like the same people that's trying to close down these public schools. What's crazy to me is the same people that's trying to close down the public schools, the same people that's signing on to these initiatives to get rid of Social Security, the same people that's signing on to all of these initiatives are people who benefited from them. You understand? Like, let me just throw something out here. The Department of Education never became a problem until niggas, until black folk and brown folks started getting educated. Why is that? I'm sorry y'all too lazy to go and sit down in the classroom and learn what y'all need to learn. I'm sorry daddy don't have enough money that he can push you on through like y'all used to have. I'm sorry. That's not my fault. But don't miseducate the African American community, the brown community, and the Hispanic and the Asian community, because your community is failing to go get educated properly. That's all I see, bro.
Good day.
My views do not represent my views do not represent the whole and total populace of DKM Media Group. But let's just talk about truth.
Good deal. Stay right there, Kurt.
Well, is it hurt?
Stay right there, Kurt. We gotta keep it moving. Your 3 minutes is up, brother. We gotta keep it moving. Let me go to Cap. Cap, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. I'm doing good. Thank you for answering.
Yes, sir. Good to have you. Good to have you. We're asking a question. We was talking about the Project 2025. We started off talking about that and how, you know, public school students are going to be required to take the ASVAB, the pre-military test that you have to take in order to go into the military to find out where you place. Public schools are going to be required to take that, while private school is not going to have to take it at all. They don't have to worry about it. We start off right there. And now we're talking about the fact of whether or not the public school system is failing our children. Cap, you got 3 minutes, brother. Are they failing our kids?
Oh, ain't no question about it. I heard my brother Leonard, and who disagreed with that. He felt that education is not failing. But if we look at the Latin word for education, it's called educor. It means to bring up or to nourish. The word is to bring forth or to bring out, one from light, one from darkness into light. If what we are taught does not bring us up, if what we taught does not bring us out from darkness of ignorance into the knowledge of knowing, then it has failed us. It's not hard to see it failed us. Look at the condition of the so-called Negroes who have degrees. Look at, we got the most educated Black people in America. But look at our condition. Look at our condition. We got more Black PhDs. I call them pumpkin head degrees. They're not PhDs. They're people whose head's so big as a pumpkin that they're arrogant. You can't tell them nothing. And they think they know something. But yet, look at our condition. I heard the Honorable Minister Farrakhan say it like this. If a people will not treat you right, will they teach you right? Have we been treated with the level of respect of a human being as a people? No. So you expect the same people that abuse you, misuse you, that all of a sudden going to teach you right. Look at what they teach. It's in the educational system a knowledge of yourself. That's what I like about the Jewish people. They don't teach a curriculum in German. They don't send their children to German schools or German charter schools.
30 seconds.
You must teach your people who they are and what they are and a true sense of the history if you're going to get them people to advance. And that is what we lack in, the knowledge of ourselves. That's what's on my heart, brother.
Good deal. Good deal. Frank, talk to me, brother. What do you say about that? Is the educational system, and you and I, we're linked into this education system, but is it failing our students?
See, so we sit, and when I say we, and it may be other people that are on this panel and that are speaking, we sit in a very unique situation with both of our wives being educators.
Yes.
Okay. The one thing that I know, because I am very active in the schools, is that you have to follow up. These principals, these teachers, they're human. You're going to have good teachers that are very good at their job. And then you're going to have people that should never be teaching. So you have to have follow-up. You have to have an expectation for your child that they're going to get a certain level of education. You have to follow up on it when they come home, have conversation with them, sit around the breakfast table, the dinner table, and find out what are they learning. Are they growing? Follow their grades. You have to follow up. My wife sits on every board that our children go to, and I'm very active in every school that they attend. The second thing that we have to stop doing, especially as Black people, is allowing just kids just in chaos at these schools where you cannot teach. These teachers, a lot of these teachers are in freaking war zones. These kids are up there, and because there's a dollar amount attached to these kids, the administrators are not kicking them out. So they're so disruptive. They're cussing in schools. They're cussing out the teachers. And the teacher can't even control the class. So you have to have an expectation. There has to be a certain amount of responsibility that you have. And when you find a teacher, I know on a day-to-day basis what any of my children are turning in. When those grades, because you can go right online, you can see when those grades are posted. When my son turns in something on Monday, and a week later, those grades aren't posted, I'm at the school. I'm sending emails. I'm asking questions. Where is this grade for this assignment? We have to follow up, and we have to hold people accountable. If you think anybody is just going to do their job because they're getting paid, You're sadly mistaken. And then here's the last thing that I'm going to say, Raheem, because we're only on 3 minutes. You want to be outraged? Do you understand that the teachers on their limited salaries are buying the majority of the supplies and stuff like toilet paper for the schools every year? If we didn't have these men and women, if we didn't have these men and women that absolutely cared, my wife takes a breakfast to school every morning for herself, and then she packs enough for almost half of her students. But now kids aren't even eating.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Friday, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What do you think about what we're talking about right now, man? Is the educational system, and you have a child in educational system, are they failing our children?
I think the system is to a degree failing our kids, and for a number of reasons, not just from pure neglect and just I don't careness. There's understaffed, overwhelmed. There's a pay issue for teachers to get certain pay. They have to go to school. They're still trying to pay the first school, and so there's a compounding interest of problems that are happening. We do also see that there's a political movement to try to create a universal education system across the United States. And so we do have to be mindful of that and the things that are going into play to make that happen, because what will happen is we'll look up one day and be like, oh, when did this happen? And it's been happening all along. Even the attack on homeschooling, like I'm in position now where I will be utilizing my constitutional right to homeschool. And I think there's a lot of misnomer about what that means and what that is by the name of it. But many states have already attacked that and created law, statutes, and regulations around being able to do that. And the Constitution says that public school, not in these words, but if you read it, like the parents are obligated to and have the first stance of right of educating children, our children, the ones we bring to the one and that we choose to take care of, that's not ours. And so we have that. So the choice is public school as fulfilling that obligation. But many states have already started to attack that constitutional position of parents to be able to fulfill the obligation by way of homeschooling, by saying basically the public school system is going to come into your home and tell you how to do it. But that's not what homeschooling is. And if I choose to do that, there's very few states that actually have true, indeed, homeschooling freedom. So we have to be mindful of that too, because, but anything you pay for, be it in taxes for public school or money to a private school or something else to fulfill the private schoolness, is not homeschool. So I just want to throw that out there as well, that public schools need help. It is failing, trying to keep up with all of these other political issues that are out there. And there's an attack at the core that the support black and brown kids as they need to, because it's fixing the data before the data becomes what they tell people why this is an issue.
Good deal. Good deal. Got to keep this thing going. Toussaint, what do you say about this, Toussaint? You got grandkids like I do, man, in this public school system. Is the public school system, is it failing our children, or is it that bright light that they need? What do you say to that, Toussaint?
I don't help nobody bring my family down. I don't depend on other folks to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And I tell my children that if there's something missing at the school, make up the difference. You're gonna have to,
Mm-hmm.
because who at the end of the day, who you gonna blame for allowing your kid to fail?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. Come on.
I ain't got no children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in school. So, all I got is a voice and some kind of financial assistance if you need it, but you got to ask it, and don't waste it on something you don't need. Get your priorities in order. And don't worry about your children. Well, my child needs tennis shoes. I saw these nice Nikes. Do they need Nikes or they just need tennis shoes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think what I'm saying is our focus. We can blame who we want to for our kids. You mean tell me that's your child, and you know the system is jacked up, and you're gonna rely on a jacked up system to educate your child when you can read? And if you don't know how to read, learn how to read.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. You better get it. Don't you send your kids to school and then the teacher gives them 2 F's, 1 for you and 1 for them.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Try talking about, well, I'm gonna educate my home study my kids. Well, you flunk out. Anyway, I don't like to blame other folks, man. I'm so sick of waiting on the government to do what they're not gonna do. Cap said it.
Yeah.
How you expect people that have been treating you wrong so long to do you right?
Mm-hmm.
Check their record.
Yeah.
Then check your record.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you depend on somebody else to do what you're supposed to do, you wind up in the hole again. Stop getting in the hole.
Exactly. That's good.
Have my record right there.
508-924-3521. I got to do this. Hadn't done it in a couple of days, so I got to do it now. I got to play this commercial about the cruise. Yes, we're still going on a cruise. As a matter of fact, I put some more money on my cruise yesterday. So if y'all are interested in going, if y'all interested in going on this cruise, man, y'all come on. Let's get together. Let's go out there. Let's have a good time, man. Let's enjoy. We do this every day. Let's go and have a good time. Let's go have a good time together. So I'm gonna play this clip. Then we're gonna go to Pete, then we're gonna go to Mo, and then we're gonna circle our way right back around. So let me play this clip real quickly, and we'll be right back. Give me 1 minute and 1 second, and we'll be right back.
Come join us on our DKM Media Group First Party Cruise. We will be leaving out of Tampa, Florida on June 21st, returning on June 26th. That's right, 5 amazing days of fun and entertainment. All this will take place in the year 2025. The cabins hold 2 people, and there is a $200 cabin fee. The fee of $200 covers both parties. You heard me right. Your deposit is a single $200 fee, and you can secure your cabin for you and your significant other. Then you have until March 15th, 2025 to pay the remaining balance. That is almost an entire year to pay the balance on this outstanding cruise vacation. Do I need to tell you that we are going to 2 different ports? Or should I mention the fact that we are going to be on one of the best cruise ships? I know you are surprised, but this is all true. Contact me today for all the details. You can contact me by email at myfamilybychoice@mail.com. That's myfamilybychoice@mail.com. Why aren't you taking out your credit card now?
So that's what it is, man. It's going to be a great cruise. We're going to be out there for 5 days. I've been told that 3 days ain't enough. 4 days, tickle your nose a little bit. We're going to be out there for 5 days. We're going to have a great time, man. Great people, great cruise. It's on the Royal Caribbean. If anybody know anything about the cruise, that's one of the good ones. And so let's go out there. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy each other. Get in contact with me, and I give you all the pertinent information. Somebody yawning. I give you all the pertinent information that you need in order to get you signed up. But right now, let me go to Pete. Pete, what do you say about this educational system, Pete? Is it failing our children? Pete, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Bypass it right quick. Background noise.
Okay, good deal. Mo, talk to me, brother.
Look, here I am.
Talk to me.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to look up something. So with everything, I try to go a little deeper into stuff, and I'm going to send you a link real quick for you to review at some point. But when we talk about the failure of the school system, I got to talk on a personal level, and how rich and powerful the APS school system is. The APS school system owns some of the most valuable land in the city of Atlanta and outside the area. So much to the case, and I sent you the link of their 2023 land holdings that they're getting, they've been in a project to do mixed use development and stuff like that. But they even got property in Warm Springs, Georgia. They also own the radio station, the local NPR station, WABE 90.1. Okay, so they have a lot of resources, but it's how they're spending their resources and what they're doing. In that regard, is the school system and the APS with the resources they have, are they failing the students on a financial level? Absolutely. Okay, and we got to remember, it's not the teacher's fault. In my son's inclusive classroom, there was this one particular student who was violent. I mean, she attacked students, she attacked teachers, picked up stuff. School resource officer was there, but she was autistic and transitioning. And she tried to attack my son. And my son, CJ, said, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back like a man. And so, it's things like that. And his teacher, Mr. Roberts, and the whole staff there at DM Farrell and that department are unsung heroes, where they brought together as much as they could. So we got to remember, it's not the teachers, it's the system and what they require and the money. I mean, you got to look around, like at DM Farrell, they had 4 principal transitions in 3 years. At one point, they brought back the principal who was the retired and had to bring her back during the crisis, during COVID and everything else. Remember, COVID decimated the public school system. Black teachers, bus drivers, everything. And we're dealing with the repercussions of this.
Wow.
Please take a look at that link. It's a PowerPoint thing. So it'll go real quick so you can look at some things.
Okay, good deal. Well, I'm not going to be able to look at it while I'm broadcasting, but I'll certainly look at it after the broadcast is over.
Share it, please.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Talking about the education system. We're going to switch up in a second or two to another. It's another topic I want to talk about before we get out of here today. But before we do that, Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Leonard, you there?
Yeah, sorry for that. I had something in my mouth, Raheem. Excuse me.
All right, here we go. Let's hear it. I know you got something for me. Let's hear it.
Tell her you'll be right back, and you'll be okay.
Mo. Good morning, Mama. Mama, good morning, Mama. Glad I see you out there watching, Mama. Good to have you. Love you dearly, Mama. Yep, my mama watching Mo. Be careful now. Go ahead, Leonard.
I think that people with children definitely have an invested interest in this education thing. And when we have to realize that not all people are concerned about education. And that's one thing that is important. And so you may have individuals that everybody, we know what we should be going to school for, but that's not what everybody does. And so there are students that really go there to get that education and to use that education. And we're, like I brought out before when we first started this conversation, 50% is your responsibility.
Yes.
There's no way around it. 50% is your responsibility. It's your kid.
Yeah.
It's your kid. And God bless teachers that go to have an impact on young people this way. And I think that's what motivates a lot of people to teach, is because they want to have an impact on young people and to teach them how to make better decisions. Now, I happen to be involved with a lot of people in education. My background work is education and those types of things, but the perspective can be completely different. I basically work trying to help compensate for a lot of different social cultural risk factors when it comes to education and the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
And so I address issues more related to self-efficacy, which is making sure that young people understand that they have the capacity to reach goals. So now it's just up to you to choose what you want to be or what you want to do. And this is what you use. You wouldn't send your child to church to learn geometry, would you?
No, sir.
So why would you send your child to school to learn about Jesus? See, some of y'all want too much.
Mm-hmm.
The mission of most schools is general education with a little bit of everything about everything that goes on here from a particular perspective. It's not the end all to be all. It's just K through 12. Hell, you ain't but 18 when you leave.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much more you need to learn after you 18? So let's stop acting like education is supposed to, this K through 12 education is supposed to be the magic, is magic. And now you know everything you need to know because you don't. And so those people who are they not serving our children? First of all, who is your children? There's a lot of children that come to have different issues that may keep them from learning the way others learn. One of the issues in education is to make sure that because it's a public education and any child should be able to go, is that you're able to administer that education to that child.
Good deal. Good deal. 3 minutes is up. We're going to keep this thing going. Anybody else have anything else they want to say on this particular topic before we move on to the next one?
I do, Raheem, real quick, so we get a real clear understanding of what these teachers are facing. And I agree that you know, a lot of these kids are falling short of what our expectations are. But I do want to bring this, Dr. Barrow. I do want to bring this out. Do you know that a lot of these teachers are teaching these kids personal hygiene? Do you know that a lot of these teachers are getting together and they're getting with dads and we're sending barbers into schools so these kids can get haircuts? A lot of these kids are cutting themselves because their lives are so painful that the cuts that they're receiving makes them forget about what they're facing when they leave school. School is not just a semester, you know, the way we think about it, that it's going to be from the time that they start school and they get out for the summer. These teachers are attached to these schools, these kids year round. The majority of my wife's students have her telephone number. And they're in homes with no lights, with no food, with no heat. And so, like Leonard said, he said 50% of it is our responsibility. I think it's a larger number because I do have an expectation for my children to be exposed to certain things. But then I have to go back in and see what it is that they're being taught to make sure that it lines up with the vision for my home and they're being taught correctly. So we have to quit being lazy parents. And we want to, everything. I'm just going to give you this. I'm not giving you my kid and trusting that you're going to do what I think you're going to do.
Exactly. That's good. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input.
Hey,
we got yes, sir.
Raheem, I'd like to add to what my brother Frank was saying.
Okay.
I think it's very clear that everybody on here understands, at least me. I'm not charging a teacher with the game. No, I think we got some phenomenal teachers. I think we have put our teachers in some of the most difficult situations because we're not allowing teachers to be able to teach in a safe environment. If a teacher spends most of her time, 30 to 40%, according to what I've read, trying to get order in the classroom. That means 40 to 30% of her ability to teach the ones who's listening, they're deprived of her. Sit down, Johnny. Get back there. Get on it. See, we're not talking about that. I commend Brother Frank and his wife, who are educators. There are some brilliant teachers. I did a study, Brother Raheem. I asked the question, which was the most valuable of all the occupations? I put doctor, lawyer, chief, and teacher. And everybody put doctor, some put lawyer. But the teacher is the most valuable out of all of them, because without a teacher, you won't have a doctor. Without a teacher, you won't have a lawyer. Without a teacher. But they get paid the least amount of money. No, it ain't the teacher. They have to teach a curriculum that does not allow that young man. And I agree with Frank. I mean, there's certain things you should be taught at home, but 75% don't have two parents like Frank and his wife. They don't have the parent that I had. Mom, come here, boy. No, you better put some dash on deodorant. No, take that off. You work today. So I'm saying yes. Not that the teachers are failing the students. It's the system. It is the curriculum that they give these teachers that's failing the students, not the teachers.
That's good.
I'd say hat off to all the great teachers. And there's some teachers that just want to pass you to the next grade to get you out the class. So we got functional illiterates. And I can understand. I mean, I'm not going to have you in that class acting fool. You pass. Bye. And let somebody else deal with you. So we got a lot of functional illiterates.
30 seconds.
So now, I just wanted to make that clear. I like what Brother said. No. It's not the teachers. There's some wonderful teachers.
Yes.
He said, but if you give them script, and that script does not bring us out of the savage state that we're in. And I'm going to say this to you, brother. Now, ain't nothing wrong with a dog. We have the University of Islam. Yes, we teach God. How you going to give people an education that God ain't in it? That's why they have the Catholic Church. They have its faults with the priests and all that, yeah. But the end game was to teach a people more. So in the nation, we teach them morality. And we teach them an education of themselves as Muslims, and particularly as a people of culture.
Good deal.
You got to have your own, man.
Good deal.
Got to get going somewhere else. Get your own.
Got to keep it going. And we got a caller from the 50. We got a call from the 501 area code. 501 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes. This is Dr. Barabino, and actually I'm from Mississippi, New Orleans, but I'm in Houston now. Recently relocated.
You said Bardino?
Barabino, apologize.
Yes, sir.
Barabino. Yes, I just chimed in, and I got an interesting perspective on the last two comments that I just heard. And I'd have to say I'm from a psychology background and social work, case management, and I recently just became a new teacher. Actually, I'll be starting the classroom August 1st. And I'm in a unique experience. I'm in an international school and teaching English as a second language. And I'll tell you again, coming out of Mississippi, coming out of New Orleans, and being here, I'm actually located in, like I said, some refugee time, if you will, immigrants. So over 80 countries. So again, big city, can't keep up with everybody's background like I would in a small community. You know, their parents, things of that nature. I can't pronounce some of their names or things of that nature. But I'm going to tell you this, from what I've seen, I have a background in teaching in non-traditional institutions. It's a combination of the community, the curriculum, the state, and again, Mississippi and Texas does not fund their education system intentionally. The legislators, they're doing this stuff to the community on purpose, locally and at a government and a federal level. So again, we as human beings, the psychologists, it's self-preservation. We have to take care of ourselves. And if we're lucky, we can find a school system that does what it is projected to do or said it's going to do, just like the Constitution. It sounds good, but at some point you have to take responsibility and do what you can to get the outcome. And you got to have a vision. You got to, like say, you need to be around other people that has a great plan, if you will, adapt what you can, leave out what you can't. But it's a responsibility if you live within the community,
Mm-hmm.
you live within the neighborhood, and then in your household. It's a holistic approach. It's not just one person's responsibility. The teacher has a responsibility. The parent has a responsibility. We live in a society. We live in a democracy. Application may not be as good as it is on paper, but we have a responsibility to do whatever we have to do to ensure the best outcome within our abilities. We can't be held accountable for things that we don't know and don't understand. We get held accountable for trying to acquire and do better.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's great teachers, there's great students, there's bad students, there's bad families, great families, however you want to describe it. But you have to focus on the goal and not the problem.
30 seconds.
Problems cannot be solved by talking about problems. They have to be solved with solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And money does not solve problems. It finances solutions. So if we're not going to do our part by any means, and I will give you just two great examples and I'll end. Last night and last Saturday, I've been working on a project for 13 years, trying to get programs in my community where I live respectively. And last night I was in a nightclub, a lounge, wherever. We were having a mental health men's support group in the lounge. Speakers, alcohol. Saturday, I was at a men's breakfast at the new church that I joined on the third floor. I got resources. I'm in Houston or whatever. But we got together on our own, and was another support group, whatever, financially, emotionally, marriage, whatever the situation is. We spend so much time focused on things that are not going to help us out as men or Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these institutions. We have to put the education within our community. And my last goal, I've accomplished most of my goals in 5 months after moving, because I've been working on this for 13 years. We have to institutionalize all these things that we're talking about within our community. The churches,
gotta
south,
keep it moving, brother.
where everybody's from, are the most vacant buildings in our community, Black owned, and they're sitting there vacant. Let's put these programs in our churches and go to school. Go to church like we go to school. Institutionalize everything. Let's put a mental health provider in the church.
Brother Bardino, we got to keep it moving, brother. Everybody get 3 minutes. I'll try to give you a little leeway, but you ain't got to go to what. Stay right there with us. I'll come back to you. Anybody else have anything else they want to say on this topic before we move on to the next one?
Before we move on, Raheem, shout out to that one last brother, because, and this was my doctoral work about this particular issue, and it was specifically related to Black males in grades 7 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some social, cultural things that we have to mention that the brother just hit on. It's a combination of things that produces the greatest academic performances. And one of them is engagement with peers and positive activities, self-efficacy, I mentioned that already, emotional well-being, and the values of social interaction with parents and teachers throughout development. And so it's not this one nail in the coffin approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's addressing those issues that specifically affect Black males, social, cultural things. These are things under our control, just like that brother said.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 4 or 5 teachers that ever taught anything to come up with a curriculum to teach kids at your church every Sunday evening or another evening during the week. Or if it's reading is the issue, then you get folks in there and y'all start helping and teaching kids to read better.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to plug in and supplement the gaps for our young people in these situations. And so I love what he said. And that was the goal of my work starting out. Let's institutionalize some things.
Mm-hmm.
That one, let's say in every neighborhood, underserved neighborhood, there should be at least 3 or 4 programs where community members educate children. And they don't even have to go to the school. That's a supplement to the school program.
Mm-hmm.
See, we need the supplement where kids are missing. And so that when they are in public school, you're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But when the teacher is trying to do it all, that's where we lose people and people fall through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that we're missing the supplements, the gaps. There are huge gaps that have to be plugged in. And they're not going to be plugged in by a system. that is dedicated to eradicating education, public education.
Wow. Good deal. Cap, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to say something.
Hey, Cap, was that you wanted to say something too, Cap?
Listen, let me say this. Everybody on it is spot on. They spot on. I mean, for real. I like everybody saying the same thing. I like what brother said from Mississippi. There's no question. There's no one fix to this. If we got to repair education, it's got to be the family to start where we start. The first teacher is mother. Everybody else, she's the first teacher. And if you don't leave out of that house with basic morality, basic moral principles, and you send that child into an environment that's going to disrupt other children whose parents gave them moral principles. And that one individual child can be the one who disrupts the class. And of course, every mother would say, not my kid. Man, I was about putting cameras in the classrooms because you need to see how your child acts. They're fighting the teachers today. The schools have become a pipeline to the criminal justice system. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Go into the system in New York and see a doggone metal detector. You got police officers rolling around with them. How could you teach under those kind of conditions? How can you learn under those conditions? When we went to school, Tucson, when we went to school, my man Leonard, they didn't have all that. We had black teachers coming out of segregation, understanding how important to teach that black kid something because he's already coming out the gate late. Putting him in a white racist environment that hates him. If you want to see somebody see us rise, do you think people want to see us rise? No. Not a racist society, especially down in the South. They want to see y'all rise. Oh my God. Another Morehouse producing another Martin, a Frederick Douglass. Oh no. We're going to dumb me down, give them social media. So they lack the knowledge of themselves. So I love what y'all saying. And again, shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to Brother Nan. Shout out to anyone who's an educator.
Yes, sir.
I got mad respect and love for educators. I know you have a difficult job educating. I'm down with you.
Exactly.
Whatever we got to do to get this bad boy right, cap me in your corner. That's all I have to say, right?
Good deal.
Hey, Raheem, can I just, and I know we've been on this topic for a while, but can I just say this? And
hold on.
This
Frank.
is something that Rashid. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me do it. I told Tucson I'm gonna go to him. I'm gonna go to Tucson. I'll come right back to you, Frank. Hold that thought.
Go ahead.
Write it down now. Tucson, talk to me.
I just wanted to play the role of a teacher and a student. And I want to scream and holler at that student. Why is it? What is your problem that you can't learn? And the student says simply, my parents beat me and I'm hungry.
Wow. Just like that. Frank, talk to me. There's issues. He's saying there's issues.
So
that's not being addressed. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Raheem. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm finished. Go ahead.
So he went right where I was going. See, in anything, we have to start at the beginning. Unfortunately, we need adult education because these kids are a product of broken homes. And they're coming in, like one of the gentlemen said, they're very disruptive. The majority of the time the teacher spends is trying to get her classroom under control. And I'm going to tell you this because I've seen it. These kids have an issue in the school. They will call their parents, and their parents will come up there and fight you.
Yeah.
They will call their sisters and brothers, and their sisters and brothers will bring kids up there, and they will fight you. We have to have adult education. We have to bring these parents in and say, hey, this is why your child is here. And this is what we won't tolerate. But guess what? The principals and the administrations won't tolerate that because they want the money. They don't care about that kid. They want the money that kid represents. And anything that endangers, is something that we should be offended by is count day.
Mm-hmm.
So on count day, they have parties, they give incentives, they do everything so they can count them kids like cattle. So they can get all of that money, not for the investment of that kid, so that money comes in to the school.
Mm-hmm.
But we need adult education, man. They need to take cell phones out of schools.
Right.
Because the parents are calling. You don't know how many times my wife would tell me, man, I got these kids, I can't even teach because their parents are calling them all day. Hey, I can't come pick you up. Or, hey, I need you to go get your brother. Hey, I need you to leave now. And my wife is saying, sweetie, you got to put that phone down. Well, this is my mama. And you say, you know what? I understand that this is your mama, but this is my class. You got to put that phone down. Now you got the mom at the school that wants to cuss out the teacher because she told your little nappy-head kid what they're supposed to do. We have to educate these parents, and we have to get these kids in line before we can be successful.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Hey, can I come in?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me piggyback. Like I said, I just started work in February, and I was a support for the classroom. They call it a learning coach, and I was bumped up 3 weeks later, as soon as I got to Texas. So anyway, I'm in an international school, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Honduras, Africa, everything, language barriers. When I got there, one of my job descriptions was to contain the classroom. We got it's a new system out here, so this is a marginal area, but there's no excuse. But I take that back. I got an exception to the rule. My background was psychology, behavior, modification, things of that nature. So they didn't know what kind of employee we're getting. I was specifically told, piggybacking on the numbers, there's no consequences whatsoever. These kids need to be in school again, systematic, unwritten rule that they get money for these bodies in the seat. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've never been inside the institution itself like that. I've been in support. To make a long story short, I had no way to write kids up. I could go through the paperwork. There's no consequences. I call the parents. They claim they don't speak English. Doesn't matter. I resolved my problem because I had to resolve my problem. Again, thinking job security, do my job. This is the task. I went and bought 2 12-packs of Coca-Cola 7 ounces. What's the opposite of consequences? Rewards. So I took some of the worst students in the classroom, most disruptive, playful, not violent, just disruptive where nobody could learn. And I specifically, every time they done something, I rewarded them back tapping into psychology. After that, I also explained to them, hey, if you don't want to get your education, don't disturb your neighbor. If you don't care, whatever, that just opened up some dialogue, and it was a shock to them, saying the obvious truth to them. You are doing yourself a disservice. Other teachers use tactics to fear that they have authority. After I got done with this, I was actually my job. I won't say my job. But one thing, they had me move around classroom to classroom and contain classrooms. And mind you, I'm only been in that school 5 or 6 weeks at that point. So the thing is, you have to do whatever you have to do. Luckily, I do have a skill set, but I did have to come home and try to figure that stuff out, you know? So, I mean, it can be done. It goes back to, are you willing to do your job? Yeah. I don't care what job it is. It could be radio. Some people don't want to do their job, no matter what profession they're in. You got to take the good with the bad. But when you are dedicated, you're looking for growth and measurable outcomes, you can get them if you apply yourself. And not everybody's that dedicated, whatever term you want to use, but you got to achieve the goal. And the goal is life or death. And some of my kids are just coming into the country the day before. No English, no nothing. And we got to get them, put them in a system that has to prepare them to live in America. Or black kids, white kids, whoever, prepared to live in society. We have to do what we have to do to be criminals or whatever.
Exactly.
Told you, Raheem.
Yeah, there you go.
You
There you
know,
go.
Raheem,
Hold on. Who was that? Who was that?
it's Kurt.
Go ahead, Kurt. I'm trying to make my way to you Friday. I'm trying to get to you Friday. Don't go nowhere. Go ahead, Curtis.
You know, there's still people that don't believe that the prison the school, the prison pipeline exists.
Mm-hmm.
There's still people that don't believe that. There's people, as far as our generation is concerned, I heard Frank mention earlier about redlining, right?
Yes.
Now, if you play it back, and Frank, I'm pretty sure Frank probably gonna jump through the phone when I say this. Frank, play it back in your mind what the projects looked like when we was growing up. Now close your eyes and think about the inside of a prison. There was things that was laid out for us that automatically told us that was going to be the alternative of where we went. And true indeed, the brother was absolutely on point when he broke down and he said, look, there's a multitude of systems that need to be corrected in order to change the overall scope of what our educational system is, right? And I'm a strong and fervent believer of that. We heard Leonard talk about programs, which is phenomenal. And Leonard is absolutely right. There are programs. However, guess what? With this Project 2025, all those programs are going to be non-existent. They will not be funded. Same thing that happened. Now I'm going to say something that's going to make some people feel uncomfortable. But the same thing that happened with Mary Wright Edelman's legislation, the No Child Left Behind Act. And we bought it. Oh, it's a piece of trash. It wasn't good. I wonder how many of us actually read it. Because if we read it, we would have found out that the No Child Left Behind Act was like Leonard said. It was something that sounded good. It was never properly funded at all. It was never properly funded. The money that was given to the No Child Left Behind Act, man, that a state like New York, we can even go further than that. A state like Iowa would have ate up all the funds. It was never properly funded, and then we wondered why it didn't work, right? We're dealing with a situation where we have a larger, this is just my opinion, we have a larger entity
30 seconds.
That is purposely feeding the prison to school pipeline. And the only way to do that is to dumb down those who attend school. Why is our schools, given our situation, I'll land the plane right here, given our situation, why is our schools only from 9 to 5?
Wow. Friday, what's on your heart, sis? Been trying to make my way to you. There you go. Talk to me.
No worries. I put it in the chat, but for those that aren't accessible to Facebook, it's 100% the parents' obligation to raise up their child and children the way they see fit to include educationally. Now, if that process includes you activating the choice to send them to public schools, then that parent is equally still obligated by the obligation of educating, utilizing that option to be involved, to support, and to provide solutions in areas with the other parents that have also come to that conclusion of choice. You also have a choice to home educate, which means essentially you take full responsibility of educating your child and your children by resources available to you or utilizing experts that you may have access to get them to where they need to be. People do it all the time, but that is something that's being under attack because it's something that's not utilized across the board by a lot of people, particularly in the Black and Brown community, although those numbers are increasing.
that reflects a lot of what has been said about utilizing the church and other groups, smaller things inside the communities to get those things met as a subsidy or as a direct source. So at the end of the day, we also have to make sure that we're protecting parents' rights or parental rights, because terminologies are being used to say that when your child is in the school, that the school is now the parent, and then things will continue to formulate verbally that will go into policy, that will then turn into statutes, that will turn into laws, that then when you look up, you have no parental rights at all, and then you're trying to figure out, why can't I raise my child? But it starts at home, it ends at home, and parents have to understand the obligation that they have and then do the things that they need to do to secure those rights within those obligations.
Good deal. Good deal. Well,
Raheem.
Come on. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm awesome, Raheem. I'm doing fine.
Good deal.
But you know, this is a hot topic here.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and I say that because everyone on this line has said so many awesome and wonderful things that give us direction and help us to understand how important knowledge is, how important education is. And with knowing that, with knowing how important it is, then why is it that we need to force our parents, force our family members to understand the importance of it when it's necessary?
Yeah.
It's necessary in all areas of life. So, you know, I can't say anything more than what they've already said. I just want to stamp it by saying the importance of knowledge and education puts you in a place and level that you will never be able to exceed on your own. So, yeah, we got to, our behavior has to change.
Yeah.
We have to have a willing, what should I say? I think it was Curtis when he was talking. I forgot who it was when they were saying that the parent was calling on the phone. Come on now.
That was Frank.
How can you teach foolishness, ignorance, stupidity, when if your parents are missing out something, now you are instituting it on your children? Come on now. Raheem, that's what's on my heart.
Man, the timer didn't catch you today? Willa, you mean you didn't let the timer catch you today, Willa?
I know. I heard it.
Yeah.
That's how I know how hot it is today.
There you go.
You got the timer on everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. We're gonna keep this
Dr.
thing going.
Barabino, brief comment, if possible.
Huh?
I said, Dr. Barabino, brief comment, if possible.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will say one thing. I guess I could wrap it up and just, I said institutionalize. I want everybody to really think about that. Like I said, but I guess the easiest way I can say it is it has to be a cultural change. Education has to be put into our community, like drugs and violence and all the other things, the music, so on and so on. Things that didn't exist 20 years ago. Conditions didn't exist. Somehow those conditions got here. So we want to put education, formal, informal. We're just talking about people doing better, knowing more information, and having access to information. And we got to deal with that internally as a community also. We have a lot of people that are have and have-nots, and they are no longer connected. We got to bring people back together, the ones in the know, the ones that are not in the know. Everybody deserves to know. And that's, like I say, under Pastor Toussaint and even out here. I bring people to church. If I get good information from the church, they can get a second hand from me, but come where I get it.
Yeah.
So there's something where it's people knowledgeable. Get in your car, go pick somebody up and bring them somewhere. Again, it could be biased because it's coming from you. It has to be a cultural thing and not just an individual thing. And if you know some families are doing, if you're conscious, psychology 101, if you are conscious, you don't do anything, you're responsible.
That's good.
To some degree. You can't save the world, but you got to do something if there's a problem to you.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Brother Pete, you back with us?
Hey, Raheem, I know you're trying to get to something. And God knows you got us keep like that. So if we break the ranks, please forgive us. Everybody, y'all forgive Kathy. I don't normally break ranks, but I want to say this because you woke me up and got me excited.
Mm-hmm.
We are giving and I'm just sharing this with everybody. We're giving $100,000 grant from the Genesee County Prosecutor's Office, and we're going to be, the grant kicks in at the end of this month to the peacekeepers. They want us to go into the schools and teach conflict resolution to the students, because they said the biggest violent group that's coming up to community violence are teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Plymouth. They said teenagers is off the chain.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into the schools with a training that will separate the boys from the girls. We're not putting them all in the same room, 50-50. And until we can set up peacekeepers, students in the schools that would help curb violence. So that means we're training young people in the schools that if they know there's a beef between other students, they will play a role to bring these students, before it gets to the gunplay out in the hood, to the table of conflict resolution. Now, has it worked? Is it going to work? Well, it's something. But we've got the state and federal people that have the funding. With the great educators on this line, we have to do exactly that. If we're going to give the teachers the proper environment to teach, where the people would say, I want to send my kid to that school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to send them to that school because they got black male teachers there. They got, oh my God, I want to take my kid out of this school because we got teachers over here. It has to be a concerted effort on everybody. And I like my man talking about adult education. Because some of the parents need to be educated.
Yes.
I love that. When you find a wise child, you find a wise parent. When you find an ignorant parent, I bet you a donut to $1, you'll find an ignorant child. So I think on this line, you know, we want to lead with understanding there's some things being done now. Everybody on here doing something. I'm just sharing with you what we getting ready to do in Flint. I'll be leaving and I'll be in Flint for a month. I'm excited about implementing, and I'm going to share this with you. I got to give it. Also, the prosecutor, David Lafley, the district attorney, is putting a size amount of grant towards my organization to train the community with the police in the same room. I never did that. I've always trained the police by themselves. I've always trained the community by themselves. This will be the first time that in the same room for 8 hours, the community, particularly will be trained at the same time. So there's some work we're doing. God bless everybody in the work that they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Pete, talk to me, brother. Joseph, coming to you next.
We're hearing the verification that we have always had and still do have all that we need. When I talk about us not having the heart for the mission, you're hearing heart in effort, dedication, determination, and discipline toward the mission. We hear the adage, everyone can do something, you know, nobody's excused for doing nothing. The carnage, the damage. We were just talking about reparations a day or two ago. You're seeing the need, the damage, the hurt, the harm that we put on ourselves and each other and others put on us as well. The repairing of a people. Marcus Garvey tried to tell us, up you mighty race, accomplish all that you will. Where is your heart and mind? Not the heart that's pumping blood. That heart that's in your inner being. Come on. You. And allowing you to exist in this form. What are you thinking on? What are you endeavoring to do? What are you willing to mark out, put your hand to, and cut a thread, a plow, a line, and plant some seed and concept, if you would, in the development of yourself and your family and your surrounding area and your people and eventually everybody else. Take courage. Be not discouraged. Be not dismayed. It's not over, but we have to have the heart, the mind for the mission. Stop saying anything about what we cannot do in any form. and find excuses for how we can do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Self-determination, discipline, being dedicated to yourself and to one another in love.
Mm-hmm.
And no B's and H's and N's and G's. Where they getting all this negative stuff from anyway? And why do we have it?
Mm-hmm.
Because we tolerate it. Let's stop tolerating the intolerable. Let's stop explaining when there's no explanation needed. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Stop talking so much and do. We don't need 12 more years of the State of Black Union held publicly for the world to listen into, to hear us and interpret us and decipher how we are and how to further dominate and conquer us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Take courage.
Exactly.
Get your heart right. Get your mind right for the mission, and then get involved in any and all capacities in the mission. Find a way to work together and stop making excuses why you can't.
That's right.
There's no reason why we can't all work together. There's no reason. There are no reasons. There are no reasons why we can't work together toward our accomplishment as an ethnic group, and then turn around and show the world how it should properly be done. It's not about revenge. It's about righteousness, truth, and justice in peace.
Wow, that's good.
Get your heart right.
Exactly.
Get your mind right. And let's get on mission.
That's good. That's good. Joseph, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Morning Glow family.
Man, come on, talk to me, brother. I know you got something on your heart. Talk to me.
Okay. Yes, I got something on my heart. I love everything my brother just said. We must be about doing. I like what Cap said. It's all about action more than talking, because it's good that we are talking. Iron sharpens iron. We're teaching each other. That's a good thing. Always a good thing. That we share information together and grow together. That's a beautiful thing there. But as far as problems that we already know about, we should be doing something about it. And more than just talking about it, we should be doing something about it.
Yeah.
I was looking at these slot machines. They got them in this Family Dollar store now here in Riverdale, and they got slot machines at the Kroger's over there on Old National. And I'm looking at most of these convenience stores where a lot of these people from Pakistan and India, they are sucking all the money out of the Black community in many ways. And we're not looking at it and not thinking about it. But Malcolm X said it best. He said, we must learn to control the economics and the politics of our community. We haven't mastered that lesson yet. That is a very important lesson that we need to master. Everybody else do.
Yeah.
You go to Peachtree City, there's mostly white-owned business out there. Okay? And they patronize each other. And they thriving. We got to master that important lesson. Here in Clayton County, where I live, it's predominantly Black county. But we have not mastered that. We have not mastered that.
Yeah.
And I talk to politicians, and I talk to business leaders, and I talk to churches and pastors, and they just don't get it. And it's disturbing.
Yeah.
It's disturbing to the spirit.
Wow.
Don't be surprised if you see me standing on the sidewalk saying, do not play slot machine. You're sending your money out of your community.
Yep. Exactly. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Frank, talk to me, brother.
Powerful show. I want to commend you, Raheem. You set up a 3-minute time frame, and what that does to us is it makes us respect each other, which is
yes, sir.
We minimize that, but it's very powerful because we need to listen to each other because there's a part for all of us to play, no matter what we believe. We can work together. Courtesy is something so powerful. I was just in Cleveland for work, and I had Rashid with me, and we were driving by a projects. I said, hey, man, pull over. And he pulled over. I said, "What do you see?" He said, "The projects." I said, "No, look again." He said, "No, that's the projects." I said, "No, man, that's a courtyard. That is a prison. Look how it's set up. Look how the buildings are aligned. In the middle of it, it's the prison yard." I said, "Did you see that?" He said, "Wow, man, I've never looked at it. I just said that yesterday." And then Leonard said something that if we run by, we will miss it. He said, "Do not send your kids to school for the school to teach them about God."
Yes.
I don't want someone teaching my child about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that doesn't know him. It's not about your formal training. If that's not something you believe, you can't teach it. You don't understand it. If you don't have a relationship, you can't teach it. And then this is the last thing that I'm going to say, and we talk about how important the school system is to us. I can't remember who it was that said it, but he said that you can look at a person's cell phone and find out what is important to them. If I pick up your phone, if I look at anything that you give a lot of attention to, are you going to have things on there that pertains to your child's education and their growth? Or is it going to be all types of little goofy ads and foolishness? You will not get good copies from bad originals. And Cap said something. He mentioned Jewish people. Man, they have a goal. It's destination on purpose on what their kids are going to learn and what they're going to study. I was in Seoul, Korea, and a horn went off real loud. It was almost ear-shattering. I'm like, what in the heck is this loud horn? All of these kids came out of the houses on bikes, hit the ground, hundreds of them. Minutes later, they were all gone. They were in school.
Wow.
It's important to them.
Exactly. Cassandra, talk to me. That's good. Talk to me, Cassandra.
Yeah, I applaud, all the men on our panel that have the passions that they do to do what they do and to make a change in the community. What we need now is the men that are here and other men that want to see change in the community to talk to our young men, to talk to our men in the community, and encourage them to have that same type of mindset, because these men are exceptional men as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
These men are not just talking about doing things. They're actually out in the community doing things. We don't have that a lot, not in the community. I live in downtown Atlanta. And I've really seen, and I've checked for programs and everything in my area. And like I said, I'm right here, West End, where, a lot of the hoopla and the drug dealing and stuff go on. I'm like 2 blocks from it. And I don't see Black men out here doing that, reaching out. I don't see it. So, I applaud these men because I know that these are exceptional men and they care about their community. So if you guys, wherever you are, would just come into communities or go into your communities, like you're saying you're doing where you are, and reach out even more to our Black men and to our young men, wow, what a difference you can make.
Absolutely.
And I applaud you all. Like I said, we need more of this. I know what I do, but I know that we need men out there doing the work and making the difference in our community. So I applaud every one of you for what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Oh, and I just wanted to say this yesterday before my time is up. Yesterday, I was asked by a young Black man that's running for our city council in East Point, which is about 2 blocks up from me in Atlanta. And he wanted me to help him do some things for his campaign. I said, before I do anything, I need to know your heart set, not your mindset. Because people talk about a lot of stuff. I need to hear your mindset. So I said, I need you to tell me, what is your plan and what is it that you see happening in the community that you want to change? And he spent, quite a bit of time, and I kept asking him questions. He said, you're not playing about this. I said, no, I'm not going to waste my time with somebody that's just trying to get recognition or get a title. I don't have time for that, because our communities are dying. So if you don't mean my community or this community any good, I don't have time to try to help you do anything. So you have a mindset. And I'm going to end with this. I know that Leonard and, like I said, the other men on here, you guys are about community, and that's what we need more of.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. Leonard, talk to him in Tucson Friday, and then we're going to go to Willow.
Man, it's good to hear people motivated, like I had mentioned earlier. When I heard sound like a soldier, I heard a lot of soldiers talking. And that's a good thing, because it's not about who ain't doing something, it's about who's doing it. Get behind them and support them. Not looking for excuses. There are people out here doing some awesome work, and all they need you is to give them a little help. That way we all don't have to carry the burden. We can divide it amongst ourselves. And that's what I like about my organization, and talking with some folks who were new and notice how we move. And so when I sit down and think about it, we have a conversation, and they say, so wait a minute, it's designed that way? Yes, sir. It's because it's not just one of us doing anything. It's all of us working together. You can't shut it down.
Exactly.
You can't go after one and destroy the organization, because it's never one. It's a group of us that are networking. Every time we go somewhere and have an event, man, I'm going to keep your name and number. I'm going to keep this. So guess what? When somebody invite me somewhere, now they just invited 4 or 5 of my network partners.
Exactly.
And you know how many brothers I've met who have created their own schools?
Wow.
So we're building on the foundation of our ancestors to support us, to strengthen us, not to be just black, but be the ultimate human beings. It's about the excellence of the matter. It's not about being mediocre at all. It's about making purposeful decisions that contribute to the rest of your life.
Exactly.
You make some mistakes, you mess up, and all those types of things. Everybody has. But what are you committed to? What will you fight for? What will you stand in line for? What will you protest for? Man, I love what what my man Frank was talking about, parents involved in school. It's good to hear other parents talk about what I've been involved in. Oh, Mr. Jones, we didn't know you would be here today. You having a meeting about my son, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I am Mr. Jones. Or even the shock when a school administrator, oh, so all y'all got the same last name? Yes, sir.
Good deal. And Leonard gave a list of things. What would you live for? And but what is there anything out there that you feel so passionate about that you're willing to give your life and die for?
Right. They think a lot of us don't exist, but we still exist.
Yeah, exactly.
People that still trying to do the best we can, regardless if everybody else wants to be mediocre.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what you do in your free time. You ain't got nothing to do. Go help somebody.
Wow. Wow.
Just that simple. I can't put it no simpler than that, right?
Plain and simple. I mean, it's easy. It's easy. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
Yeah. Some of what y'all talking about caused me to think, and I got kicked off. Yeah, I did. Okay. Because there are dream killers among us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about when, just for example, this is the example. It says train up a child in the way that it should go, and when they get old, it will not depart. Well, there are some people, because it's not their children, they don't care.
Yeah.
And then if it's not about them and what they trying to do, because they don't want anything, they sabotage the efforts. And then they pull their children out of the efforts because they're not benefiting totally just them.
Mm-hmm.
You get into a conversation about a total big vision, and you get the people together, and you start talking out. I wish that Dr. Belvino was on there, because he's going to love this. He would love this. We start talking about how we're going to develop and plan, because you got something that will help with education and recreation. You start developing a plan, and you get into the meeting, and somebody stands up in an uproar, and they say, I just want to know who didn't put the trash out. What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, mama.
I'm sorry.
Lord.
I'm sorry.
Lord, you know you in that corner, brother. You know you in that corner. Let me see who I say. Friday, and then we'll go to Willow. Friday, talk to me, sis. Let me start your time over for you real quickly here. Toussaint relinquished a minute and 30 seconds. He just shot himself in the foot. Friday, you there? Okay. Well, we're gonna go to Willow.
You know, Toussaint had a lot of time left over. I want his time too.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. But anyway, real quick, you know, at my church, we got a program called it's a distribution to the community, and it's World Vision is the one who sponsors all the essential things that we get. We get a lot of good stuff, nice stuff, furniture. And I was talking to my leader, and I was telling him, you know, everybody gonna come for free.
Yeah.
Because free is free. They'll stand in line for free. They may not even know what it is, and they'll get in line because it's free.
Yeah.
But I was trying to educate or not educate it, but kind of give my leader a little different direction. They're gonna come for free, but why not give them a word before you give them something?
Yeah.
It's not saying that you're trying to bribe anybody or you're trying to utilize the stuff that we get in order to pull, but give them a word, because it might bring on change. If you keep doing the same thing, and you don't get no kind of result, you got to change something.
Yeah.
We have been feeding this community for years, a lot of years. And I'm going to say, out of doing that, we may have brought in maybe 2 people when we should have brought in more. I was just saying and I was just using that because the way you deliver the education, the way you deliver things, the way you plan things is so important. I think I heard Leonard say that about his organization. And if it works, let it work. Let it work for us. And that's what's on my heart right here.
Good deal, man. You got almost 2 minutes left. 2 minutes to spare. 2 minutes to spare. We're gonna keep this thing going. Who do I want to go to? I think we lost Mo. Yeah, we lost Mo. Mo had to take off. So let me go back to while I got a minute. Let me go back to Cap. Cap, you still with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk to me.
Man, it really, man, I'm very honored, as my sister said, and Sister Cassandra, how very pleased to see that we have men on this line and not talkers. I'm honored to be in those ranks.
Yes, sir.
You know, brother Raheem, we don't highlight each other. You had a lady that was talking about reparation. She was your guest, and we had a chance to see the work that she's doing. We'll highlight some of us so that those of us know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We did something in Flint, Michigan. We put up a billboard. Never had there been a billboard. The chief, the district attorney, went all in the newspaper, the press was it. Captain Dennis did that. I didn't make no big bones about it. But we had settled over 15 beefs since the billboard went up. I ain't bragged about it. But we need to know when we got people on this line can say, oh, I'm hoping that when we get ready to start the training with the youth in the school, I want to bring Frank down from Detroit because Flint is not but a minute.
Yeah.
I want to bring people in that got other schools of thought. We're not afraid to bring grown men among men, young men.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we need to highlight each other sometimes. Just we're going to have today, Sister Cassandra, this is your show. Tell us some of the things you're doing and let us find out what you're doing. Let us find out what Leonard doing. Highlight the people you got on here, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got great people that we don't even know what they doing. That's what's
good.
on my heart.
Good deal. Good deal. Kirk, talk to me, brother. That's good. That's good. And we would do that. Absolutely. Kirk, talk to me.
You know, Cap is dead on point. You know, that was no cap right there.
Lord.
You know, the population that I work with, the demographic I work with is 18 to 24. Majority homeless youth. Majority, right? I just sent you something to your phone, man. You might want to check that out. Because we are faced in 2024, in the early part of the 21st century, with the possibility of having the smartest, dumbest race on this planet. And one of the things that I learned when I was in business school, when I was at the University of Syracuse, is that when you look behind the curtain, the wealthy don't make money off of the wealthy. The wealthy makes money off the poor.
Yes.
And why am I saying that? With the demographic I work with, Raheem, both male and female, do you know what the average TAGE score reading?
What's that?
The average TAGE is 18 to 24. It's 4.2. It's a 4.2. That for those that don't understand what that means, is that means that this person is reading on the level of fourth grade
yeah.
second month.
Yep.
Do you know what the average math score is?
What's that?
A 3.6. Frank said something earlier that has been weighing near and dear to my heart for about 20 years. There used to be a time where schoolwork would be done collectively around a table. If you open the schools up collectively, these parents can maybe get some understanding of what these kids are being taught, because let's just be honest, the math that they learn now ain't the math we learned 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
No.
But there's a level of ignorance that's being perpetuated.
Wow.
That do not indicate any level of understanding, and I'm laying the plane there.
Okay. Pete, talk to me, brother. Pete, you there? Pete, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Leonard, talk to me.
It reminds me of a situation how all the years I listened to Joe Madison, right?
Mm-hmm. The Black Eagle.
The Black Eagle, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was my dude. This was my dude. You know, and then I think about the background that I have and the things that I've just learned leisurely. Like tapping into other Black men doing positive things or watching how they present things, like Tony, what is it, Tony Brown's journal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, I do.
Just these like journalists, bro,
Mm-hmm.
that sit and told a story. And I'm like, I used to sit around with my grandfather and my grandparents and watch television, and their respect for Black professionals who told our perspective. And our perspective was so important on how we worked with each other, who we believed, who we trusted in the community, and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Find those like-minded people to connect with.
Yeah.
If you say to yourself, man, and I just think about it, I try not to be smart about it. And I say, well, why are you around folks that don't contribute or invest in what it is that you're doing? What you mean? Why are you still around people that want to kill the dream that you have to do anything? No, I'm not going to sit here and say, Black people ain't this. No, man, because every Black person I know is doing something the best they can. They positive. They helping other people. They're out in the community. They're teaching. They preaching. They doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hang around with people that don't be doing nothing.
Yeah.
I can't sit around and worry about people not doing anything. Why am I going to continue to cast a negative light on all the things that my brothers and sisters do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that does us a disservice, because what it does is it keeps allowing them to use that same old negative picture they've tried to use of us.
Exactly.
Some of folks invested in that old frame of thought so much they don't want to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to let those things go, because there are great people here, and half of them ain't had nothing when they came up. Nothing, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
They were poor.
Yep.
They didn't know what they was gonna do. Some of us went to the service. Some of us went to play basketball. So look at where we're at today.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't have done that sitting around talking about what we can't do.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
A lot of times, them people that's saying it, they invested in our downfall.
Yeah.
That's why they keep telling that negative story about it. Because they invested in it.
Exactly. Got to get away from that woulda, coulda, shoulda. Got to get away from it. Got to get away from it. Well, I'm looking at the clock, y'all, and it's telling me right now that it's 10:03. 10:03, so it's time for us to get out there for today.
Hey, Raheem, before you close the day up, can I just give us a thought to walk away with?
Go ahead.
Cassandra put a call out for the men and the women that are on this line to reach out even further. And I want to extend that same thing to her. One of the biggest things that we face when we go into the neighborhood and into the communities is the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And another brother said that there are people that are in place to hinder you from getting the agendas that you have accomplished. And that's by design. The Willie List letter and that whole movement, it still lives. It is still healthy. So the thing that I would ask to Cassandra and people like Cassandra is, when you're hearing people that are coming in trying to stop gun violence and trying to put things together to help the community, help us. Because the community fights us, man. They fight. We don't want that. Why are you trying to do this? And these are not just people that are there by coincidence. They're plants.
Yeah.
They're put there on purpose, and they'll get other people to saying the same thing. And Willow says something about, giving the people something instead of just giving them something. Welfare hurt us. It really hurt us. It created a culture where it made people lazy, And they actually just think, well, I'll just have another baby, or I'll just lay back and somebody gonna give me something. You know, that's not healthy.
No.
That is not healthy. And I'm gonna use my youngest son as an example. Me and him cut grass together forever. And he would be cutting the grass. If he went to move something, he'd leave the lawnmower running and he'd come back to it. And so he was like, man, when I'm not in school, I can cut grass to make a little extra money. So he started cutting the neighbor's grass, used all my gas, used my lawn bags, used my oil. I started making that joker pay for gas. All of a sudden, I noticed he gets somewhere where he got to stop. He cut the lawnmower off.
Yeah.
Hey, son, why you cutting the lawnmower off? Oh, man, that's my gas. I can't burn my gas up like that. It's costing him something.
Yeah.
You know, it's costing him something. And the last thing that I am going to say is Crunks Recreational Center that's here in Detroit. A lot of people heard of Tommy Hearns and Emmanuel Stewart. We have to get so invested in everything. Emmanuel Stewart took Crunks Recreational name, and that was a community center that belonged to the city. He took $1 million organization and went national with it. It didn't even belong to him. Crunks was around before he was born.
Yeah.
I swam there. I learned how to box there. I played basketball there. They taught reading and writing. It was a community center. They were all over the city of Detroit. He took that name, made money off of it. The center closed. And the hopes and the dreams of a lot of people died with it. He should have never been allowed to take the name of Crunks Recreational Center with him. It didn't belong to him.
Yeah. Wow. That's facts. And I'd like to get some more information on that, Frank. You and I are going to talk about that a little bit. But right now, we got to get out of here. Cassandra, yes.
We have to go. I'll make this really, really quick. This is Friday. Guys, everyone, ladies, gentlemen, thank you for so much having your inputs. It was very informative. And I would like to put out a request initiative that was started here in Connecticut with me and my husband, and we're reintroducing to Atlanta, but anywhere, local organizations, if you are willing to work with us, we have Greenlight Manhood, which is a safe place for men to come and talk, but we also provide resources and education because we really believe that rebuilding our community starts with our men and being confident to lead our communities and being that barrier between the outside and us. And so we would love to work with you and find ways to get your resources in front of them, and we can talk about it. So that's Greenlight Manhood, and you can reach me that way directly by that name on Instagram or by Friday on Facebook. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Good deal. Reach out to her. Did anybody get a chance to support our sister with the reparations? I know I sent a donation to them. I don't know if anybody else had the opportunity to do so, but if you did, thank you for doing so. If you did not and you're able, support her as well. Because she's doing a lot of great work too. And so we all, like Cap said, we all are doing something, and we got to highlight the fact of what each and every one of us is doing. I think that's a great idea. Cassandra, somebody joined this broadcast, Cassandra, and they joined it late. They say, look here, I wish there was a way that I could see this broadcast and see it in its entirety. They join in 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:15, even 9:30. Cassandra, can you bless them?
There's definitely a way that we can bless them. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they can go to dkmmediagroup.com and see or hear the show in its entirety. Once again, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. And let me invite you all to do so too. When you go to DKM Media Group, when you go there, there's a tab across the top that says register. Go there and register. dkmmediagroup.com. Go there and register. And that way you be up to speed as to what we got going on, how we got it going on. There's going to be a lot of great things moving forward. And we'd love to have you with us. We'd love to have you with us. So if you get an opportunity, go to DKM Media Group and just register. Might take you a minute and a half, if that long.
Raheem,
yes.
Can you check, because I did that. I mean, I haven't gotten anything that I know about yet, but can you check to make sure that my registration went through?
It did. I saw it the other day. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it went
All
through.
right.
Yeah, you're there. You are there. You are there. Not there, but you are there. It sure is. And I thank you for that. I definitely appreciate it. Anybody else, make sure you, and it doesn't take long. Cassandra, what it take you about two minutes at the most?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Couple of minutes.
Exactly. And go and fill out a couple of things. You're registered. Don't cost anything. It's absolutely free. So you ain't got to worry about taking. Don't reach for your wallet. Leave your wallet or your pocketbook in your pocket, or your pocketbook on the table. Don't even pick it up. Don't even pick it up. But look, let me do this. Willow!
Raheem.
Let me say it again, just in case somebody didn't hear me. Willow!
Raheem.
Are you ready?
Raheem, I got up ready this morning.
Oh,
come on, Raheem. Let's go.
Well, since you say that, I ain't got no reason to doubt you, Willa. I ain't got one more thing to say to you. I just got one more thing to say, and that is this, Willa. Let's go.
Amen, amen, amen. Father God in heaven, we come to your throne this morning with confidence. We come to your throne saying thank you. Thank you, Lord. Keeping us as we step, Lord, bringing us. Thank you, Lord, for waking us up, giving us another chance and another opportunity. We thank you. There's so many things that are going on in this world. Father, we believe that you already know, because we stand on your promises. Your promise that you will never leave us, nor will you forsake us. Father, we know that we don't know it all. We don't know the mystery of all that you do or you say. Father, we believe that you tell us what we need to know, what we need to understand, because it's important that we have a willing heart to receive your word. You said it in Proverbs that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Not the fear that I'm afraid that something may happen or somebody might do something, but the fear to know that your word is true, that it's believable, that what you say is stand on your word. Father, we starting with the fear of the Lord. We thank you, Lord, for being an awesome, loving Father, looking way past my sins, looking past my faults, seeing our needs. Who wouldn't love a Father like that? Father, thank you. Thank you, Lord, for your grace that you bestow on us each and every day. Because we know that we're not perfect, but being perfect doesn't mean that we're flawless. It just means that we're complete. And the only way we're complete is because we trust and believe in a Savior like you. We thank you, Lord. I'm asking you to cover each and every last one that's on this line. Cover them, Lord. Cover them with your protection. Cover them, Lord, keeping them. Cover them, Lord, by directing them, giving them the wisdom, cleaning up their hearts, searching their hearts. We, Lord, we allow the Holy Spirit to be our God, be our protector. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the message that you put out this morning, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for Raheem. Thank you for his family. In Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you. Praise you. Praise you. Amen.
Amen. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now what time? It is now 10:14. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug. Because you never know, it could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we'll shine some of this light on you for the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it. And I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Talk to you Monday morning, if God says the same. Have a great weekend, y'all. Stay blessed. Love you.